Good morning, everyone. You are listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live here on YouTube. So before we get started with the morning show, everybody's getting a little situated. We're just going to do some quick traffic and weather. So hope everybody is doing well this morning. It is pretty nice out today as I'm pulling up the weather. This morning, it feels a little humid for the most part, but nothing too bad. So let's take a look at our weather forecast. Currently, right now at the Strack and Van Til Studios, it is 68 degrees. Today, we are seeing highs of 72 degrees and lows of 38. Today, we are seeing cloudy conditions, windy and warm, with a couple of heavy thunderstorms, especially late in the day. There can be damaging winds, hail, and even an isolated tornado. Tonight, cooler periods of rain and thunderstorms this evening, becoming breezy with a shower in spots in the late. Moving forward into the rest of the week, if you thought the rain was going away, you would be mistaken. Wednesday, highs of 49 degrees, lows of 45. A little rain, breezy and cooler, and later in the nighttime, a shower and a thunderstorm. On Thursday, highs of 72 degrees, lows of 50 degrees, showers and a heavier thunderstorm, periods of rain and a thunderstorm. And these conditions of rain is going to continue on a little into the weekend, but then by Sunday, hopefully Easter, we got some clear skies, but it is going to be a little bit chilly. Let's take a look at our traffic in the Northwest region. So traffic is honestly looking pretty good. I'm not seeing any major traffic in any of the areas in the Northwest region. 65 going north and south is looking good. 80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west is looking good. Chicago Skyway, Lakeshore Drive is all looking great. We do got right lane blocked due to flooding on the Bishop Ford I-94 west at 130th Street. Exit 68. That was reported and updated about 5 minutes ago. It's not causing any severe traffic in that area, but there is a bit of traffic right there on the Bishop Ford, right at the connector, right by East 103rd Street, South Stony Island Avenue. Dan Ryan is looking pretty good as we head further into the city. Stevenson going north, there's a little bit of stop and go traffic here and there. Going south is looking pretty good. Eisenhower going east and west is looking pretty good. Downtown area is looking good as you are moving forward into the city. 94 going east and west is looking good all the way up to the Rosemont area. Are we ready to start, ladies, or should we get some music going? Play some music? All right, so we're going to play just a little bit of music, get everybody settled in, and then we will get started with the program. You're listening to That's What They Said on WJLB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And actually, what we will do is we'll hear a little bit from our sponsors while we get everybody settled.
Tech Credit Union supports the essential role of union labor in building strong communities. That's why we offer hassle-free banking, financial empowerment, and a commitment to your success. Save for the future, handle life's challenges, and trust a partner that stands by hardworking union members. Tech Credit Union, the better option for you and your money. Visit techcu.org or call 800-276-8324. Tech Credit Union, supporting union families every step of the way.
Summer's coming, and Deep River Water Park is taking applications for all positions. We have jobs both inside and out for all ages that offer great benefits. Free admission on your day off for you and a friend. Free uniforms, paid training, make new friends, flexible scheduling, and more. To apply, just go to deepriverwaterpark.com and you're on your way to a summer of rewarding fun.
Deep River Water Park, it's simply splastastic.
Plumbers Local 210 is building the future, and we're looking for service plumbers to join our team. Our training center invests nearly $500,000 every year to make sure our members are the best in the industry. From a 5-year apprenticeship and an associate degree at Ivy Tech to ongoing certifications in safety and new technology, our plumbers are trained for excellence. Every member is drug tested and licensed for your safety and peace of mind. When you need plumbing work done, make sure you ask for the license. It's your right to ask.
Introducing Powers Health, a health system with a new name and a strong legacy of caring for families in our community. One with a tradition of advanced specialized services and a vision for the future. One with a commitment to medical excellence and compassionate care. Everything we do, everything we believe, Powers Health.
For procurement managers, Grainger is the go-to partner that helps keep your healthcare facilities ready for patients. Because there's no time to manage orders and deliveries from multiple suppliers, Grainger offers everything in one place.
And good morning. You're tuning in to WJOB AM 1230, 104.7 FM. And this is That's What They Said. Myself, Burley Suggs, my co-host Michelle Quinn, and Adriana Alvarez are here to share what's going on in the world, what's going on in the region, and just sharing our opinion and hoping to hear yours as well. You can join in the conversation at 219-845-1100. Good morning to my co-host.
Morning.
It's been a while.
It has.
It has, yes.
Yes, and back then, the last time we were here, wasn't it once again oppressively cold?
It was cold. Right now it's okay.
Oppressively cold. I just learned something. I was watching some program, and then they talked about weather in Montana where it was 70 below. And I'm like, 70 below? I can't believe that actually happened in the 1950s.
Right.
So if someone can survive 70 below, I think that when it's 10 degrees, 20 degrees, it's not a big deal to me.
We can, and honestly, I would prefer it to be, 5-10 degrees, as long as it's not humid. I've talked about that. Mm-hmm. When it's wet and cold, that is misery.
Yeah. As long as I have sunshine, I'm fine.
Right.
So even if it's below zero and the sun is shining,
it's like,
I'm
okay,
cool.
I can live. Right.
Yeah. So today it's going to be in the 70s.
I know.
Tomorrow it's going back down.
Yeah. And, yesterday was amazing.
It was a beautiful day.
Yeah, I spent quite a bit of time outside, so it was like, yay.
Did you? Covering stories or actually just soaking in the...
Just kind of soaking in the stuff. Yesterday I was working on, I had a dentist appointment in the morning and then just ran some errands. And then, between that, working on the NIPSCO thing, which is not going well, folks.
Yeah, today, their contract ends today.
Yep. And
so we will talk about that.
Yep.
To the degree I can't... I'm going to, do
I
a
know.
disclaimer on that. But
no, I know.
You and Adriana can have at it.
Yeah. All I know is that yesterday evening I got a message from somebody on the union side that NIPSCO offered its best and final, which, like taking a page out of the BP handbook, it was, this is what we're giving you, take it or leave it. Mm-hmm. And the union... They are trying like heck to avoid a strike. They don't want to do a strike. It'll be 1,600 plus people on the picket line. So add that to the 800 and 900 people striking out at BP, and we're not going to have a fun summer at all, folks.
Well, do you think that since the governor's going to be in town today, heading that way?
Yes. So, Governor Braun is... scheduled to stop at the picket line at BP today. So
you think he'll head over to Maryville to NIPSCO and have a conversation there as well?
I don't suspect. I think today, because he's got the rail, he's doing the ribbon cutting at the rail, or he's going to be there. I think today is kind of packed up, but I would not be surprised if we see him again.
Okay, so he'll be on the Hammond side of BP. So maybe the mayor will be there. Maybe he'll show
could
up.
Be. We'll see. We'll know.
He's kind of friendly with the governor right now.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. So
anytime there's an opportunity for a photo shoot, why not take advantage of it, right?
So anyway, but yeah, it's not going to be good.
So do they bring federal mediators into the mix?
That I'm not. My first question would be: are there any federal mediators left?
Yes, there are.
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know if it's at that point yet.
Mm-hmm. Usually, it gets to that point before a lockout or a strike. I mean, you would think that
right
if it qualifies for a negotiation where a federal mediator could come in, that they'd actually bring one in.
Yeah, I don't think...
It's tough when, in this world today, when you have globalization, you have companies that are multinational. Mm-hmm. Work rules around the world are a lot different than they were here in the United States of America, and especially in places like Northwest Indiana, strong union hold communities. Mm-hmm. A lot of places don't have unions. They don't have collective bargaining.
Right.
You basically work at the will of the company, and
Sure, absolutely, but also let's look at the working conditions around the world as well. I've within the last several months I've read several articles about people working in for American companies in Europe, and they're like, oh no, we don't work like Americans do. We work like Europeans do,
Right, of
and they will
course.
tell them to go pound sand if you call them, after they're off work.
oh no, they get their however many months of
Yes.
maternity leave.
Yes, they
and,
do.
There's summer holiday vacation time, and so the work rules are different.
Yep.
So when you have a company that's used to dealing one way,
Right.
you come in here, and I hear so many complaints about the fact that there's so many contractors
Mm-hmm.
working in a lot of these facilities that were
Right.
basically all just management or union.
Right.
Well, the reason those contractors are there is because the companies wanted to get away from paying the union wages. So it was cheaper for them to hire another company to do a job and not have to say you had a guy who's a custodian at Inland Steel.
Right.
He's making the same wages as say he's in the union, he's
Right.
making union wages. They like, well, hey, why are we paying this guy all this money, all this vacation, how many weeks of vacation Inland Steel people used to get back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
He says, oh, let's just hire a custodial company to come in, let them do the cleaning. We're going to pay them whatever we pay them, and they're going to pay some poor guy minimum wage
Right.
to clean bathrooms.
Right.
And that's it. So contractors come in, they get the contract, they pay their workers less than what the union salaries are.
Right.
And the bottom line is the savings to the company
Right.
and the profit of this
Right.
contractor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's less union workers working. When it comes time to negotiations, you don't have as much leverage.
Right.
Because most of the people are contractors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now we have situations like what are going on there. You have situations like what's going on with NIPSCO,
Mm-hmm.
where they have, different entities that are investors, and they're looking for their bottom line
Yes.
and their profit, and the workers, the privileges and benefits that they've worked hard to attain.
Right. And that they, frankly, over the last 40 years since I was talking to Vern Beck, the vice president
Yes.
of local.
Lisa Beck's husband.
Yeah.
Is the,
So we were talking about
union
that,
guy.
and he had mentioned about how he was involved, or he had just started, I believe, at NIPSCO back in the 80s when they had their big strike.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I've been here for 47 years, and he has seen even the concessions that they have made along the way, to further on. So the contract that they have now isn't even as great as contracts they had in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're being asked to basically, we want flexibility, to hire more contractors, which according to them, because he's like, they'll never tell us what we're going to pay. Or what they're paying for these contractors. But, we've been trying to map it out. It's not cheaper.
no.
So why are you paying more for contractors that another company can pay less when you can pay us to do the job that we were hired to do?
The management doesn't see it that way.
No, I know.
And sadly, and the disclaimer that I'll make, I have my husband who was not a union worker.
Right.
And in the 80s, when that strike that Vern's probably talking about, he was probably one of the management people that were probably locked in or,
Right.
were forced to be in there or something.
Right.
But then one of my children is a union worker there.
Yeah.
And so definitely my comments are generic comments.
Right.
That are my opinion.
Right.
Definitely not any insider information from either
Right.
or.
Right.
I just feel for
Everybody.
the workers because they want, you talk about concessionary contracts, and what NIPSCO is offering their workers is very concessionary. They want to take away a lot of benefits.
Yep.
And in many cases, you work a job, and I've been a 42-year union member.
Right.
So I talk from experience of union contracts,
Right.
negotiations, strikes, mediators coming in, federal mediators being involved, the whole works. So
Right.
when I talk, I know what I'm talking about. But I don't know if they'd qualify me as an expert witness or not, but
Sure.
this is my opinion.
Right.
When you start doing these concessionary contracts and you never re-get the footing
Nope.
what you had before.
Nope. It's not coming back.
Yeah, and then when you bring in new workers, so you say, all right, say you have 50% old workforce that's working under a contract where they have these benefits, and then you're bringing new people that don't have the same benefits. So now all the new hires, you don't get a pension, you don't get the same week's vacation as the other people. You're starting at a lower pay scale, a B pay scale versus the A pay scale. You're creating a division right there.
Right.
Of a workforce. So then as the older people start to retire and you still have all these people working under a different contract, different benefits, it's not a good mix.
No, it's not.
And it's going to hurt you in the long run. And people don't see that. I mean, businesses don't see it. Unions don't see it. No one sees it until it really hurts them, like what's happening at BP right now.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, the governor's going to be here, so we'll see. We'll see what that means, if anything.
Well, is he coming to support the workers or is he coming to support BP? Because Indiana has not. The Republicans in Indiana have never really been so favorable to unions and collective bargaining.
No.
So what side is he coming to support?
That will be an interesting question. We'll see what I would hope he's stopping at the Union Hall.
Okay, that's a good sign.
So, we can assume that's what he's on their side, but all I know is that he's showing up.
So is he showing up because of the whole negotiation between Hammond and the Chicago Bears? Because BP is supposed to be a part of the backdrop, right? Of the new Hammond Chicago Bears Stadium, right?
That will never be built, but yes.
Michelle, you made an enemy by saying that. You know that, right?
Who did I?
Well, there's a local elected official who really liked you. Until you made the comments.
No.
Yeah, you were really liked before you said that. I really, yeah.
Well, this is the first I'm hearing of that.
Oh, well, someone sent me the tape, and I finally listened to it.
Oh wow, no, I did not hear that. Well, I'm sorry. I will stand. I'm going to stand 10 toes down, and I will personally. I've told you I will eat my shorts if it actually happens. And I will.
I said I would eat crow if it actually happens. So she's eating shorts.
Yeah, whatever. I will be Bart Simpson.
I'm sure if we go into one of these little those shops that sell things for bachelorette parties, we probably can find you some shorts.
Sure.
And chocolate.
Excellent. Okay.
And
cool.
we can probably Adriana can get on
chocolate.
Amazon and find me a white chocolate because I'm a white chocolate fan.
Okay.
Find me a white chocolate crow, please, if I have to eat.
Oh, we can make that. We can find the mold.
Thank
Yeah.
you. All right. So
find
if
a
I'm going
mold.
to eat a crow. If I'm going to have to eat crow, I want it to be white chocolate.
Well, there you go.
And if you
No.
have to eat your
If I'm wrong, I'm
shorts,
Yes.
then they'll be chocolate.
yes. If I am wrong, I am wrong.
Yeah.
I have eaten schniz before. I will do it again. I'm saying I don't, and I'm sorry if you're not gonna like me over. That's a little dramatic, but you can be mad at my opinion. I mean,
Well,
yeah. So anyway,
well, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and continue with That's What They Said, because guess what?
it's what
we said.
It's what we said.
We need a little jingle for the end of that.
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
Ennigenberg Roofing offers roof replacements, repairs, and new construction. CertainTeed Shingle Master certified, our goal is to treat every customer and project with respect, courtesy, and honesty. Serving Northwest Indiana for over 63 years, contact us for a free roof replacement estimate at 219-365-8879. Mention this ad and receive a free upgrade to CertainTeed Pro Shingles. Ennigenberg Roofing, 219-365-8879.
Indiana wants me.
Know a Hoosier serving in the military or living overseas? Indiana wants every eligible Hoosier to participate in our elections. Military and overseas voters can register and vote securely from anywhere in the world. Voting assistance for service members, families, and eligible Hoosiers is available now. Visit IndianaWantsYou.com or contact your county election office. And remember, Indiana wants you.
Message sponsored by your Indiana Secretary of State.
Indiana wants me.
Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and the last one off a job site. It all starts at laborers41.com.
And good morning. Welcome back to WJOB, AM 1230, 104.7 FM. That's what they said. We're going to take it to Adriana with the traffic and weather update, and then we'll get back to the conversation.
Sounds good. Okay. Actually, let me fix this camera. There we go. My chair's rolling away. These chairs, like, they roll so much.
I know. I was like, what?
And I was like, let me not.
On the preview. Is there a reason why we don't?
So it's the camera right here is connected straight to this computer.
Oh, okay.
And the switcher only picks up cameras that are connected to the switcher. So I can't really be able to do that. But they are able to see me here.
Okay, as long as they can see you, I can see you in person.
Yes, there we go. It all works out. So currently right now at the Jack and Van Til Studios, it is 67 degrees today. We are seeing highs of 72, lows of 38, cloudy, windy, warm conditions with a couple of heavy thunderstorms, especially later in the day. There can be damaging winds, hail, and even an isolated tornado. Tonight, cooler periods of rain and thunderstorms this evening, becoming breezy with a shower in spots in the later nighttime. Wednesday, we are dropping down with highs of 49 degrees and lows of 45. A little rain, breezy, and cooler, and a shower and a thunderstorm later on in the night. Those rainy conditions are not going away as we jump back up to the 72-degree weather, high of 72, low of 50. And showers and a heavier thunderstorm, periods of rain, and a thunderstorm later on in the night. So everybody's getting a free car wash is what we're hearing. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're looking at 60-degree temps. And hopefully Easter Sunday, we will stay partly sunny, just a little cooler, highs of 46, lows of 35. Let's take a look at traffic. So traffic in the Northwest region is looking pretty good. 65 going north and south is looking good. 80 going east and west. 90 going east and west is all looking good. We still got that right lane blocked due to flooding on the Bishop Ford I-94 west at 130th Street as it exit 68 as we move forward, and we are having a bit of traffic right there on the connector of the Bishop Ford and the Dan Ryan going on the Bishop Ford going west, and on the Dan Ryan going north. A little bit of heavier traffic as we head into the city. Chicago Skyways are looking good. Lakeshore Drive is looking good. Stevenson going north is looking heavy. Stop and go traffic all the way through. Going south is looking pretty good. Eisenhower going east and west is looking good. And as we head into the city in the downtown area, we have a disabled vehicle on the right shoulder on the Kennedy I-90-94 west at Ogon Avenue, exit 50A. And as you head towards the airports into that Rosemont area, we're seeing that traffic is looking pretty good. So other than that, that is all for your traffic and weather.
Well, thank you so much, Adriana. That Bishop Ford, people, they are definitely telling you stay off the Bishop Ford this summer. Actually, stay off the Bishop Ford for the rest of the year, because the construction that is taking place that's causing the traffic tie-ups and accidents and all kinds of issues over there is going to be going on until December.
Yeesh.
So backups on the Bishop Ford are just going to be a routine thing.
Yeah, we kind of caught it Friday when we were heading into the city for our little 24-hour bacchanalia, which you saw.
You
probably.
Were singing?
Yeah. Yes.
So tell us about this, because I figured you were making your debut.
No. I don't know what it is about. I'll go places, and for some reason, I don't know if it's because, I don't dye my hair anymore and I look like, a fun grandma or something, but I get asked to sing. The people, this is not the first time it's happened where they'll stick a mic in my face and they want me to sing. And I'm like, I don't know why you want me to do that, but okay. And, I had had enough at that point to sing. And so that's what I did. And I was singing Def Leppard's Pour Some Sugar on Me because we had gone to my bestie's sister. She works for Marriott. And so she was in town. And she's like, hey, why don't we go to Howl at the Moon? Because they had gone in D.C. and, had a great time.
Now, she got your room to stay overnight, right?
Yeah.
Of
So
course,
we were...
Marriott.
Yep. We were at Citizen...
One of the perks.
we were at Citizen M, which is this new concept, or it's not new concept, but it's a hotel based on European... It's a European-style hotel that they debuted in the Netherlands, where...
One of my favorite places to go.
So the concept is the rooms are very utilitarian. This was the teeniest room I've seen in forever. I think my bedroom at home is bigger. So, you've got essentially a mattress on a platform. And then, it was California King. So, okay, that was cool. But then you've got the sink across from the toilet and the shower, which share an area, like a glassed-in area. And then the hangers for your stuff is over here, and there's the door. But the whole purpose of it is that they don't want you hanging out in the room. The room is not supposed to be super comfy because they want you to go out. And the hotel itself was cool as heck. It, with the decorations, it was funky. And, they've got, if it was warm enough, we'd have been on the rooftop area because they had one of those and just areas for sitting and socializing. Mm-hmm. The bar is open 24/7. Breakfast was phenomenal the next morning. So, it was a good time. But yeah, so we ended up, our purpose was to go to Howl at the Moon, which is dueling pianos, but the one in Chicago is, they've got the two pianos, but it's a house band. So they were kind of like, well, this was different than we expected, and they liked their DC experience, but I had a great time.
Well, that's good.
The mango tangos were awfully tasty, except I always make the mistake that sugary drinks, and I like sugary drinks.
But you don't realize how much alcohol you're drinking?
Well, there was a little bit of that, but also just sugar. I'm laying there trying to sleep, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. Because my head, you forget that sugary drinks give you a headache. And I'm just, I'm going to die. But thankfully, I was able to fall asleep and did not wake up wanting to die in the morning. So,
very good.
So yeah, it was a good time.
Adriana, are you a fan of sugary drinks? And did you head out this weekend? And we have to get her.
No, sorry. I found my charger I've been looking for like 2 weeks. I was like, who stole my charger? No, I am a fan of sugary drinks. Especially when I go out with friends and everything.
Right.
And their choice of drink is all the different kinds of beers. I'm like, you could get that away from me. I like my little fruity drink with the little umbrella, please and thank you. As long as it tastes like juice, I am all good. This is great. But this past weekend, I did go out. I was out with my brother and his friends, and we went to... it's called a baile. So it's a dance. It was in Joliet. And they had all of the different banda groups that were coming. So live music, we're dancing and everything. And that was preparation for my brother for this weekend, we're going to La Herradura in Joliet. So that is basically a ranch baile. It has the rodeo on one side, then it has the live band on the other.
Okay.
And they have all the different foods and drinks, and the big open area is the dance floor, essentially.
Fantastic.
So that was his prep because he cannot dance to save his life.
Like me.
I was like, my God, you got 2 left feet. And
Isn't he going to be going away?
Yes, he will be. He is going to be joining the reserves.
That's
so
right.
he leaves May 11th.
Wow.
But he was like, I want to go to some of the bailes before because he's never been.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, let's go. I was like, but the thing is, you're going to have to dance.
Well, congratulations to him, and
Yes.
thank him in advance for his service.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question about you going out with your brother. What is it, a 2 or 3 year age difference?
Yes, so he is 25. I am 22.
So what is that like for you going out with your brother? Because does that kind of block guys?
No.
Or do they
So,
think maybe that's your
it's so
boyfriend or
funny.
what?
No, so it's so funny actually. I didn't go out with my brother and his friends for the longest time because one, I wasn't able to, but then also for the first year, he didn't bring me out because a lot of his friends kind of had a crush on me. So he was like,
And
why
usually
would
it's the
I?
other way around that, little sisters have crushes on their brother's friends. So
Yeah.
was it vice versa as well?
And, actually, not for the first part of it. One of his friends was actually, a couple of his friends were in my grade in high school.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay, like you. It was funny because I was like, why do you know my friends that I went to high school with, but they all work in the same place? They didn't know that I was his little sister until one day I showed up at the wherever they were at because I asked him, I was like, hey, what you doing? We don't got anywhere else to go. Are you out and about? We're gonna come crash your party. He's like, okay, and it was funny. One of his friends was like, I didn't know that was your sister. He was like, yeah, I have a little sister. He's like, you guys look nothing alike. And I
Really?
was just like, okay. And I told my friends that they were like, do they need glasses? Are they blind? You two look exactly alike. But no, now recently he was like, yeah, let's go here, let's go here, let's go here. So it's like almost every weekend.
So
and
now you're his go out buddy.
Yes,
too.
because I was just like, well, he was like, well, what do you guys do on the weekends? And I was like, well, we go here, we go here, we go here. I'm like, if it's a free weekend and we do not have to work the next day, why are we staying inside? I was like, why are we wasting our younger years? Let's go out, let's go do something, even if it's something local, not going straight to the city. Or if we are in the city, okay, let's go do this, let's go do this.
Right.
But no, he is very good of like, it's not like how I remember hearing the stories of my grandparents when they were growing up that if they go to like any of the bailes, any of the dances, then they had to ask the chaperone to dance with the girl. He's like, no, you can go dance with whoever you want. And it was funny because he doesn't know how to dance. So I was like, okay, let me try to teach you how to dance. I was like, good enough. Throw you into the fire. Go ask the girl to dance. So he's dancing and I'm dancing with somebody. And then we're looking at him. We're just like, go ask somebody. Come on. They're not going to come up to you. You got to go ask them. So we'll see what happens this Sunday. We're going
Well, one
to
thing
the
about it,
ranch.
he can take the example of Jim Deedlow because he wasn't able to dance, but he still got a beautiful wife.
Yes.
So
I
so
joke,
it didn't stop
I joke
him.
with
It didn't
him.
block his, Yeah,
I joke with him, and I'm like, okay, you're older. Go find me a sister-in-law, please and thank you. But yeah, no, we had a good time.
Sounds good. Well, I always appreciate the recap. I'm just sharing that I got an early Easter present.
Ooh.
Okay.
Because I messed up my MacBook here at the studio.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was the day that Josh Halpern came in from Alberts. And so we were doing the interview, and I kind of put my phone and my glasses between the computer keyboard and the screen and destroyed my screen and everything.
Oh, wow.
So I came home from Palm Sunday service, and this was waiting on the counter.
Wow.
My husband bought me a new MacBook. So I am back to having a computer in front of me on the show in the morning, and I'm so happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
But this will be Easter Sunday coming up this week.
Yep.
And on the religious front, seems like the Pope is getting very, very involved in what's going on
Chicago
in
Pope.
politics.
The Chicago
The
Pope is an
Chicago
awesome Pope.
He's an awesome,
Yes, he
outspoken
is.
Pope.
Yes, he is.
And he has come out with talk about war and God.
Mm-hmm.
So what are your thoughts?
The two don't mix is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's about time someone said something about it.
Right. So I had this thought in my head because, I agree with the Pope, but I think about all the wars throughout the years and the Crusades and different things that, the blessings of God. And I think about, like, through the Middle Ages and everything where religious people followed the kings and everybody into war. They were there with them by their sides. And people were elevated to hierarchy in the Catholic Church through support of rulers and wars. And so I didn't know if it was a little hypocritical or not. I'm like, because of the history of the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Because, all right, so like the leaders under Donald Trump keep invoking God in everything they do.
They want the rapture, man. They will, yeah.
So I don't agree with that at all and what they're saying and doing.
Right.
And I appreciate the Pope speaking out, but I just don't know if how he said it kind of really stayed in me. Because I just felt that it was a little hypocritical, but it was the right thing to say.
Well, I guess that you would have to, I suppose when you know better, you do better. So, or maybe, yes, regimes and, all religions of all types, they've... Okay, so are you saying then... I know what I'm trying to say here, but of course, having trouble getting it out of my head. What are you saying? What does it say about religion that they were, going into war and reaping the spoils, so to speak, a zillion years ago? I mean, it's a fact that, these things happened. So is it wrong of the Pope to condemn them now?
I don't think
Is that what you're...
I don't think it's wrong for him to condemn this war, specifically this war.
Sure.
And this administration, what they do to the immigrants. You got J.D. Vance talking about the hierarchy of your love for people, like, your family, your this, your church. Instead of just, God wants you to love everybody.
Yeah.
Not say, oh, well, they're illegal immigrants, so
Yeah,
I don't
we're not
love
putting-
them. Oh, they're a criminal,
not putting
I don't love them.
qualifiers, right.
Right. So without those qualifiers. But there's so many people who, like, say the servicemen that have to go. And I think that the Pope was referring to the people who start the wars, like this administration starting this war in Iran, or the Israelis starting a war in somewhere.
And the Saudis egging it on.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what he was referring to, because I definitely would want to feel that praying for these poor soldiers that are forced to participate in this war, or families of members who have lost their lives as a result of war, following orders that they have no choice but to do.
Yeah, I don't think, I would hope that's not what he was saying.
Right, so that's why I need a qualifier. I need something to differentiate the leaders who invoke war versus the pawns who are forced
stuck,
to follow these leaders.
Yeah.
And to abide by these orders. They don't have a choice but to do. All the Marines that they want to call up and send out there, or that are already in the region, they don't have a choice. But the leaders who brought this war on did have a choice. And those are the ones that are talking about God has ordained this and, the whole thing. So I need something to say that the little guy who's losing his life out there, his prayers are heard by God as well.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I don't imagine that that's what I think, the Pope was directing his, remarks to those who are waging the war, not the people who are stuck.
And that's what I needed, that to be more directly said.
Sure.
I needed his statement to include that, not just to talk about the leaders who are starting the war, but to talk about the poor soldier that's forced to participate in this war.
Sure. Well, now
and I always have to say, you say the Chicago Pope, I have to say my cousin the Pope.
Okay,
But,
that's okay. That's all right. So here's a thought exercise, and we talk about the people who who are stuck going to war, and I understand that there are many reasons that people enlist in service to, give back to the country. But what if people, or what if soldiers, as Mark Kelly and his group, said, don't do things that are patently illegal like they're trying to do. We got to, or what was it, yesterday or over the weekend, where the president was saying, yeah, we're going to bomb your desalination and we're going to do this. And we're putting war crimes right there on Twitter, y'all.
War crimes. I mean, The Hague will. I don't think we've ever sent any U.S. people to the World Court on trial. Leaders from other countries go there on trial, but we have never sent anyone that I recall.
Not even during World War II?
U.S. people? No, World War II.
Yeah, I know
the Nuremberg trials after the Holocaust, all that. But as far as us sending, and I don't even know when The Hague, when that started being the World Court. It had to be after World War II, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we usually try and resolve our issues here in country. I don't think we have ever sent anybody and put them on trial there. Now, I think I was there when Milosevic?
Yeah, Milosevic. Yep.
His trial was ongoing at the time. It's an amazing place. But, yeah, I don't think that we sent anybody there. Now, Netanyahu, would they send him there? They should.
Yeah.
Send Bibi. But Donald Trump, they'll never send him, extradite him to the Netherlands to
they may
be
try,
put on trial
but
for war crimes. It won't happen. We can't even impeach him. There's no way they're going to take him offshore and send him to another country to stand trial for this war or any other human rights issues.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
And I mean, that's probably a good thing. We don't want Americans to have to go through trials in other countries. It's happening. It happens.
Well, the other thing with that is that there was a No Kings protest this week.
Another one? No, it was over the weekend.
It was over the weekend.
Massive.
Oh my gosh!
Washington Post reported that record numbers hit.
Yep.
Over 3,300 rallies in all 50 states.
Amazing. They had one by me on Lake and Melton
Road.
Yep. They had over 1,000 people there.
Yep, there was people right here on Indianapolis Boulevard.
Yep, the
over
usual.
By Wicker Park.
Yeah, they do that.
They normally go.
I think 1,200 was the figure I was seeing there.
Really? And Valpo and Crown Point both had theirs.
Yeah.
So Judy Katz had posted one in Crown Point.
Yep.
And someone else posted about the one in Valpo.
There's a lot
Michigan
of them
City.
around in the area, and
Rensselaer even had one.
Yeah, there's a lot of blue dots everywhere, even in these very red states, especially like Indiana, like the one that we are in. And a lot of people like to, of course, say that if we had a king, you wouldn't be allowed to do this.
I know.
But the thing is that people are yes, guys, we understand that. But the reason why they're protesting is because we don't want a king. We don't want this to happen, and it's going into that direction.
We don't have a king.
And they're like, oh, paid protesters. Where can I go pick up a check?
Paid protesters.
Where can how much are they paying? Where can I apply?
Yeah, right. I saw people coming out of cars, from Georgia, and so that's proof they're getting paid.
We see people driving around in Texas Texas plates that are all over here.
How many people from here go to Florida and drive their Indiana plates down to Florida?
Yeah.
Really?
It's a
People
lot of
travel,
different
and rental
things.
cars have license plates from all over the country.
Yeah.
It just depends on where they got the car shipped in from or
Yeah,
was it dropped
looking
off
at
from.
looking at these numbers, it says this was amongst the largest protests in American history. The organizers' crowd count, not verified by independent analysis, put the total at 8 million people, topping the 7 million estimated at previous No King's Day in October. This time there were more events scheduled, 3,300 versus 2,700, and larger crowds were reported in some places, boosted in party by opposition to the war in Iran. Now,
I was going to say the war definitely brought more people out.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I never keep these things in my ears.
And the only larger single-day protest ever held in the United States was the first Earth Day in 1970, when an estimated 20 million participated in environmental rallies and teach-ins. Consider this a nation with a population approaching 349 million. The participation of 8 million people means that more than 1 of every 50 U.S. residents joined in a No Kings rally. Organizers say 2/3 of participants who signed up live in suburban, small town, or rural areas. That's 40% increase over last time. The protesters from outside big cities. Now, the thing with this, and yes, we cannot get an accurate description, but we're seeing the drone overhead videos of this. People are upset, and they can't. We can't keep using the excuse, "Oh, it's the leftist lunatics," blah blah blah. Okay, cool, whatever. But you're telling me that over 8 million people, and there's not an issue?
No, there's an issue.
There's an
but
issue if it's
are
a
these
couple
people
hundred
going to
thousand.
go and vote at these?
Yeah, that's
at the midterms. That's
right
what
at the midterms, and then at the general
may or
elections.
may not happen. Yeah.
Right, come out and protest. That's all well and good. Show your disdain for what's going on in this country. But unless you go to the polls and vote, it doesn't mean a thing.
Right.
You can protest all you want.
Yeah, and a lot of people that do protest are younger people. And
Oh, look who's here.
Your coffee's in the kitchen.
Yeah, you have coffee. A lot of these people that do go protest, they are younger people. They are unable to vote, but in a sense, they are still really upset because another thing that has
Well, when you say younger, because
people under 18.
Right.
So I didn't really see. I saw a mix. I saw like older people.
Right.
I
Yeah.
saw all ages.
I
out
saw
there.
a lot of different, I see a lot of younger people becoming more aware in politics, but then also with that factor that they're protesting now, and people are like, well, why are you protesting? A lot of these walkouts that are happening with these schools, why are they doing that? They don't know anything. Stay in school, blah, blah, blah. All right, and then they like to use the arguments, well, have a protest on a Saturday instead of doing it during school.
It was on Saturday.
It was on a Saturday, so we got best of both worlds for all of those who like to
Right.
complain about people wanting to use their First Amendment.
So when
right.
they say the younger, because I noticed the younger people, like with the school walkouts, my grandson in Connecticut, they did a walkout on Friday. And I think that when you do it during school, it just shows proof that the young people are concerned about it.
Yes,
so
they are.
There are some young people who are in these high schools that do it just to get out of class. You are
Yeah.
going to have those individuals.
Right.
Then there are also individuals that do genuinely care.
Just
Now-
just like the kids, if there is somebody who dies by suicide, they are going to take advantage and oh, we get to leave school, oh boo-hoo, I knew them so well,
Yeah,
there's always
Yeah.
going to be
And-
people who take
Yes,
advantage
of course.
the situation, for
and
sure.
there's these students, they're starting to pay more attention because we're getting told, oh yeah, by the way, good luck trying to own a house. Oh yeah, the nation is 39 trillion in debt.
39 trillion, y'all.
39 trillion in debt.
Leaving that to your
so
grandkids.
That's on you. Good luck trying to get insurance, health insurance. Good luck with that. And then also
Good
just
luck filling up your
affordability.
gas tank.
Yeah.
I mean, we can talk about the here and now. I don't hear any of the people who complained about the price of gas under the Biden administration. I have not heard one single one of them call in and applaud the fact that, hey, I'm glad we're at war. I don't mind paying $4.19 a gallon for gas.
I was thrilled that I got yesterday, or was it Sunday night, that by my house it was $3.99, and I probably could have gone searching because I've heard, like at Sam's Club, it's like $3.75.
I paid $3.75 at Costco last week, and when I just drove down 41 down here in Indianapolis Boulevard.
Okay.
It's $3.99 at the Luke station.
Right.
Ooh, I might make a drive to the BP on Indian. Even though, yes, there's a strike happening with BP, but BP supplies gas for all different kinds of gas
They
stations.
just do it
So
under
it's
different
not
names.
Just BP gas station, 370 in
370
East Chicago.
where?
Oh,
On Indianapolis Boulevard.
over there by
So
the
right over the bridge here?
Right over, yep, if you go right over the bridge straight down Indianapolis Boulevard, it is right by,
South Shore.
nope, further down South Shore. It is by, I'm trying to think of the school that is right there. I think it's not Edison, because that is in Hammond. It is by the elementary middle school, right by St. Mary's Church.
Okay.
There's a gas station over there?
Yep, there's right there on Indianapolis Boulevard,
Oh,
right
is that
across
I
Town
kind of
Hall.
remember when they put that gas station there many years ago. It's over there by the park.
By City Hall.
By City Hall.
City Hall, yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
I totally forgot about that gas station.
That's what it's saying right now, but of course,
So how much is it a
prices
gallon?
could jump up. It
Get
says,
it? Yeah, get it now, folks.
Get it now, $3.70 right now.
$3.70?
And then if you have the Earnify app, then they take 10 cents off if you are a Prime member.
Now, I bought gas at a station on Ripley a couple of weeks ago, and it was like so low. And when I came back, I had to go to Michigan. When I came back, I said, oh, let me fill up, go right back there. It had jumped 50 cents a gallon more in just a couple hours. Just amazing.
And then there's people that are, like, they're saying about the gas prices, and then, of course, the conspiracy theorists has put on our little tinfoil hats for a moment in time that they're diluting the gas.
Oh, that's not legal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
that-
like weights and measures. Yeah, they can't
They can't do that because that is illegal. But there's people who are like, why is my gas not lasting as long? And then it's a bunch of different
Well, I have a
things.
hybrid, so mine lasts a little longer in the past. It's my second hybrid of, getting an electric vehicle. I thought about it, but I don't know. The
I just
only
wanna know the
electric
cost
vehicle I really would
difference
want
between-
would be a Tesla, and I definitely don't want a Tesla.
I just want to know the cost difference between how much you pay at the charging stations opposed to how much you pay at the pump. Anyone want to call in 219-845-1100?
Yeah, that would
Let
be
us know
cool.
your,
That would be
experience.
interesting, but who was talking about? I think I was
I
talking.
have a charger at home for electric car. I just haven't.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we have one, but
Yeah, I would imagine that would be something you would want to put in a new house because eventually
you're gonna need
it's
it.
gonna you're
I mean,
gonna
we
need
use
it.
it for our golf cart, but still,
Golf
That's a-
carts and Miller.
Of course.
See, to me, okay, let me get on my soapbox about these stupid golf carts. And even though that Miller is not a gated community, but it makes sense because Miller is kind of its place in and of itself. I'm sorry, I Hobart shouldn't be having them, but they do.
Yes, they do.
Griffith shouldn't be having. Sorry, Griffith, I don't care, and I've always contended this. Towns should not be having golf carts. Golf carts are for golf communities. It's ridiculous. That's like first
We love
world,
a good
first world white
morning
people
ride.
problems. Yeah, exactly. Kids getting picked up at school in their golf. So anyway, it looks like it's time for a break. Is it? Did you just say?
Yes, it is time.
It's time for a break. So we're going to take a break. And when we come back, I will probably still be yapping about golf carts. So there you go.
We will take a break, and then we will come back. You're listening to That's What They Said on WJLB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live here on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after we hear a word from our sponsors.
Fabulous.
For over 100 years, Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
Are you sausage curious?
Who's ready for Polish?
Big Frank Sausage has the very best Polish food in the region.
You had a mouthful of Big Frank
sausage?
We have a full bar, dine-in, carry-out, delivery, and catering available.
I've had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
I've got a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
219-378-9556. Smacznego i na zdrowie.
Who's ready for Polish?
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors bring the highest standard of electrical work to Lake County homes, schools, and businesses. From everyday fixes to once-in-a-lifetime builds, we don't just get the job done, we get it done right and up to the highest safety standards. When you need electrical work, hire the professionals who power Indiana. Powering Indiana, Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community.
Good morning, everyone. You're listening to That's What They Said on WJOB, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live here on YouTube. We're going to do a quick traffic and weather update before we get into the rest of our topics today and as we get settled here. So traffic in the Northwest region is looking pretty good. 65 going north and south is looking good. 80 going east and west is looking good. 90 going east and west, Chicago Skyway, Lakeshore Drive is all looking good. We do got a bit of traffic right there at the connector at the Bishop Ford going west, and the Dan Ryan going south. Dan Ryan going north. A little bit of traffic right there at the connector. Nothing too crazy. As we move further into the city, we're seeing a bit of traffic right there on the Bishop Ford heading west into the city. Stevenson going north is looking heavy in traffic all the way through. Going south is looking pretty good. Eisenhower going east and west is stop and go traffic. As we head further into the city and by the airports, we're seeing a little bit of traffic on the Kennedy going east and west as you head straight into the airport. Taking a look at weather in the Northwest region, it is just getting, just colder. It's great. Is it raining outside? No, it's not raining outside. I'll turn on you guys' mics in a moment here. We're looking at highs of 72, lows of 38, cloudy, windy, warm conditions with a couple of heavy thunderstorms, especially later in the day. There can be damaging winds, hail, and even an isolated tornado. Cooler periods of rain and thunderstorms this evening, becoming breezier with a shower in spots in the late. As we continue on into the rest of the week, we dip down into cooler temperatures, highs of 49 degrees, lows of 45, a little rain, breezy and cooler, and the shower and a thunderstorm throughout the night. And it continues to rain Thursday, highs of 72, lows of 50, shower and heavier thunderstorms, periods of rain and a thunderstorm. This continues on into the weekend, and hopefully Sunday we see a clear Easter, a little colder, but hopefully some clear temperatures. So that is all for your traffic and weather. Let's get their mics on here, and you guys are on. Good morning. How y'all doing?
Good morning. Look who's
We
here.
are joined I was like the only one who didn't say good morning to us.
He's got his mouth full of bagel or something.
You got to introduce me, man.
Well, that's right.
It's your show.
Michelle taking the lead. So
no.
Okay, now
anyway.
I put her on the spot.
Thanks, Verly. So we have in our studio our fearless leader, Jim Deedlow, also known as Jed.
A lot going on right now, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening here locally. And,
yes, there is.
We've been covering it.
And you guys are covering it. And I kind of have to show up at some certain things.
With your suntan.
With my suntan.
Where were you?
I was in both coasts of Florida. It was just really nice. We went down there for a couple of for like 8 days or whatever. Maybe the first half it was just Alexis and I partying.
Excellent.
Like freaking rock stars.
Nice.
And then
Nice.
it became, the grandkids came down, then we became grandparents.
And you became the babysitters.
Yeah, so then it was just like baby. Yeah, it was like
so their parents could party.
It was 2 different vacations.
Well.
and I liked that.
Best
but I
of
did.
both worlds, sure.
Oh, yeah, we went out and watched Purdue and one of the local bars and ate at the bar and then went out for dinner with Doc Brown and Helen Brown, the former.
How are they?
They were good, man.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
they knew all the restaurants, and so we did all that, and then all of a sudden it was like watching kids all day by the beach and the pool, and then just passing out at like 8 o'clock because you're exhausted. So it was a good time, and but I'm back in. It's kind of a lot going on the labor front right now. I don't think
definitely.
and I'll just throw it out there and see what you guys think. And
Okay.
if anybody wants to comment, it's 219.
Well, we want to definitely hear your opinion because we've kind of.
Yeah.
I know you guys have gone through
Yeah.
it, but I went to the British Petroleum and Local 7-1
Right.
are going at it right now.
Yeah.
And British Petroleum locked out the operators there.
They sure did.
And, of course, just so everybody understands, Local 7-1 of the Steelworkers is a major sports sponsor on our other company, right?
Yeah.
So that's what, that's how it is. And I try to follow it. I mean, we've had BP in the past, so I'm not really,
Right.
Just so everybody understands. But I went out there, I don't know, Saturday or something, and they had Roxanne Brown, the brand new head of 850,000 steelworkers.
Yeah.
She just got elected.
Yeah.
And I think that actually, it probably wasn't the greatest time for that to happen and then go into this lockout. But she
Right.
was there. And Adriana has us scheduled for, April 13th?
I believe, yes, April 13th, you guys are going to do a meeting, and then after we get that'll play on the next morning.
Uh-huh.
The next morning, it'll be probably around
Oh, so you're
15,
having an
30 minutes.
in-studio interview with her? Or?
No, I don't really like to do in-studio interviews as much.
Okay.
I think that putting them on, interviewing them from home and then playing them in the morning is where I'm headed, to be honest with you. I know Verley doesn't like that, but I think that's where it is. But I went out there, and I'm like, man, something's going weird. So today, from what I hear, the governor is coming to, I think it's out there now. I had like maybe proprietary information right after it happened, but then now it's out there.
Yeah.
But Governor Braun is coming in.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's a minor chance, Verley, that he may drive by here and pop in. I put it, but I doubt it.
Okay.
I told the guy, I said, hey, you got to drive right by the tower. Just stop in, and I'll interview for 10 or 15. If I'm not there, Verley will interview.
Right.
So, but anyways.
And me. Anyway, go ahead.
I don't think he wants you to interview him.
Well, fair.
You got a lot of enemies out there.
Apparently that's what I'm hearing.
I love
You're
that.
not alone. I got your back. Because I'm in the same boat as you.
All right, so
let me ask you this.
Hold on a second.
Oh, go
Governor
ahead.
Braun, a Republican governor, from what I understand,
With a really bad union
I don't know if it's as bad as you think. Because I called around this morning, and I'm like, why in the heck would Mike Braun walk with the picketers on Indianapolis Boulevard against British Petroleum? I'm like, explain the media strategy to that for me. And I'm like, all right, I need to call some of the people that know this a lot better than I do. And now I'm starting to see it.
What do you
okay.
see?
I started to see, well, first of all, you don't realize that I'd say half of, or more than half of union tradesmen have voted with Trump in the past.
Exactly, and look how that's working out for him. But anyway,
I mean, there are a lot of, there's that going on. You also have, I think the Dan Durnell race is going to be a part of this. And Dan Durnell voted against redistricting, and now there are people out to get him, and they're going to spend some money to try to do it.
Yep.
Right? So hopefully we need to get some of their money, Adriana, both sides of that race. And then there's a war going on. Mm-hmm. And I thought from the beginning, like, why would they lock out 800 and 810 workers and then bring in replacement workers where you're not going to get the same amount of productivity and efficiency
right
during a war that is about oil.
Right.
I'm like, I'm going to fill up right now. I've been filled up and it's over $4. Yep. Alexis was, you better go fill up last week. And I never drive. And so now it's probably going to cost me an extra $10 or maybe an extra $8. Yeah.
I went to fill up my gas tank Sunday evening, and now I've been trying to get better at filling it up at half a tank. $40 to fill my car up half a tank.
Exactly. So
that's
why would
24.
British Petroleum do that during a war? I'm like, first of all, one thing is what has happened is all the other major oil companies settled with their labor, and they want to go on making oil and making money.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, British Petroleum has become very obstinate, and this is their main refinery in America is right here. Why are they doing this?
Because they can.
Yeah, but I just don't get it. I think that it's bad timing from a corporate standpoint.
Sure.
And I think that it is maybe the wrong place to do it. I just don't think the timing is right. If you want to bust the union, now is probably not the time to do that during a war at the most heavily unionized area in America. And I just wonder what the long-term ramifications. But when you're making $7.5 billion, you don't really care. I get that. But the second factor is the safety. I've worked out there I got my laborer sweatshirt on right now. And I'm like, I just don't get it. I mean, one accident out there and you will just hear, it's very risky for British Petroleum right now. But I want to understand it. And I'm thinking, well, maybe there's some agreement with, Braun's going to support them and, whatever, and walk. He's coming up to march with the picketers, from what I understand. That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. Verly, your thoughts on this?
Well,
Can
Jim,
you get closer?
So I already kind of discussed this at length this morning, and there's a couple of things. Did Donald Trump reach out to Braun and say, hey, go take care of this? The optics aren't good. The price of gas is high. Everyone's getting upset. Go do what you can, just like he asked him to do about the redistricting. That's one possibility. The other possibility is that he wants to remain governor, and so he wants to show that he supports the working people. I mean, there are so many reasons why. I don't even try and figure out these days why politicians do what they do. I think it's a good thing that he is coming as a governor of this state. He should show that he cares about what's going on, even here in the region, even other than the Bears coming to Hammond. So I think it's good, regardless to his reason for coming, if he's able to come and get them back to the table to discuss a resolution to this. It's a good
Can you
thing.
imagine if he was British Petroleum says, all right, man, maybe they get it. If Braun got his marching orders from Trump, which maybe, right? Honestly, I mean,
right.
maybe,
Yeah.
right? And then British Petroleum reaches out and says, all right, I know you guys are, battering them locally pretty hard, and you brought all these replacement workers in and that kind of thing. Then maybe they're like, hey, maybe we should maybe now is not the time to just, try to eradicate, really kind of take a big bite out of the union. So it looks as if, to me, when I can't figure things out, and especially, labor relations, and, that was what I studied in school, and we're supported by many of the trade unions, and I also know the business side of it. So I'm like, I cannot figure the strategy out. Then something's going on there. There's something happening with that. And I just hope that the 800 plus workers out at British Petroleum are not the pawns that pay the price on what is perhaps a larger happening. Does that make any sense?
No, I get what you're saying, but I if I'm going to hazard a guess, as a Joan Q citizen here, I think it's what is it? Occam's razor, the easiest thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think British Petroleum cares. They're a British company. They don't care what's going on here. They're still making their billions. They want the union gone.
But here's
I don't think there's anything complicated about it.
But Michelle, here's one more thing.
Okay.
Because when you bring the British part of it,
well,
Britain right now is dealing with their fuel coming from the strait through the strait.
Sure.
So for them, it's not good over there because their prices of gas, which is what's sold by the liter, has always been higher.
Well, yeah.
It's always been far higher than what we pay over
That's
here.
why they drive those little bitty crappy cars.
Right.
Yeah.
So you would think that with what's going on, even if they had to start shipping oil in reverse, getting their oil from their fuel from here, while the conflict is going on over there, you would want production to continue over here.
Yes.
Uninterrupted.
Today is a big day in that lockout along anybody driving down Indianapolis Boulevard sees all the workers, dinking around. And then I was at that rally.
Yeah, the informational picket
the
earlier in the month.
When I can't remember what day it was, but Roxanne Brown was in there, and I met her and talked to her, and I just was like, man, where's the leverage? Who has the leverage right now? And British Petroleum making $7.5 billion.
They have the leverage.
They've got when you make that kind of money,
leverage.
you got a lot of leverage. But now all of a sudden, it seems like something else is happening, and I don't know what it is. But there's something else happening today. In labor. And I have reserved 7:00 on Thursday. I'm coming in to do a couple of interviews. I'm interviewing Dave Pishker at 6:30. I'm interviewing Eric Schultz, the head of Local 7-1, at 7:35. And I have another spot in there for perhaps the NIPSCO, whatever is going to happen.
Well, Vern will probably come on, right?
So I got a lead in, and I would have an interview regarding that. So what is happening at NIPSCO is that contract runs out tonight at midnight.
Today. It's out now. I thought it was midnight last night.
No,
it's midnight tonight, but the company, as of yesterday evening, the company gave its best and final and said you guys have till tomorrow morning.
Right, so they have to make a decision.
So
this
right now, as we speak, evidently Governor Braun is coming early for the opening of the train, which we haven't discussed.
Right.
And he's going to drive
Did you get an invitation?
To the train?
Yeah, it's an invite only.
I did not get one.
You, the largest media outlet in Northwest Indiana, as we were referred to. Let's take a phone call, Jim.
We're going to take one phone call, and then we're going to take a break.
I didn't get one. It's how it works. What do you think?
Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Thank God.
Good morning,
we are free at last. God, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Let me just say, I attended. How you doing, Jim? Good to hear your voice here this morning, boss.
What is that word? Cannot be used, boss. I've been called that 3 times this morning.
Joe likes to call you that. It's so funny. I see the text messages, and I'm like, Joe, what are you doing?
Okay, the CEO of WJOB. Is that a better?
I'm in a sweatshirt and I haven't showered. How could I be the boss? But go ahead, man. What do you think?
As long as you don't use fragrance on you, that's fine. Since you didn't shower, okay.
I don't notice anything weird.
In some countries, that would be very attractive.
Ron, did you go to a No Kings? Did you go to a No Kings protest?
Well, okay, I'm going to tell you, and you probably already heard because they beat me up. They beat me up yesterday, and that's okay.
I like getting beat up.
You know what? No, I'm just saying that right now, I'm not going to beat up. I believe in freedom of speech, and you have allowed freedom of speech at WJOB, Yeah, and I'm just so glad they go, because pretty soon we might have, if these people who hate Matlock, maybe we'll have a gag order. You know, Ron Matlock won't be able to even talk on the radio. I appreciate those people who have different opinion of Matlock, even though I think it's pretty poor. Let them speak, because it tells you who they are. Okay, I attended a No Kings Day in Gary, Indiana, on Lake Street and US 20. There were like 1,000 and some people. I'd never seen anything like this before. And then I was told that we having one in Hobart too at the same time.
Yeah, there was one.
2,500 people. Huh?
Yep, that was the First Unitarian Church.
Yeah, they had 2,500 people, and the reason I know that, I have a good friend who's organized the one in Gary, and she has connection with Hobart, and I said, man, all over America, and right now people will attack me about talking about Donald Trump, who really. Donald Trump, where was Donald Trump when they had the insurrection? We had a very peaceful, let me say, they were very peaceful. There was not one arrest. Mm-hmm. Only thing that I asked them to do, I had called the police department, and they said, why are you calling the police department? I said, but the police department already knew to come out here to protect the thing. Because they used to use guns, but now they use cars, and I didn't want people running over people out there. That could have been really terrible. So the policemen did their job. They basically, it's peaceful protest, and that's the way it was. And Ron Matlock was this president. Or let me just tell you, if this president cares so much about the true Americans, those people who went to Washington in these, a riot became, and they see no fault in these people who go in there defecating on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Breaking windows and people. It's sad day, and so, but they would attack Ron Matlock, but they won't attack the president of the United States, who had no compassion about Mueller, he died, and he said I had one person call WJOB, said that Mueller that Trump shouldn't have said, he shouldn't have said that the guy deserved to be dead, you know. So. Jed, I appreciate you so much. You just really don't know. You think I'm playing, but I'm really serious about that, because freedom of speech right now, we might not, this time next year, if they have their way, don't you think that Donald Trump will not shut your station down, him and...
All right, I'll address that. Thank you, Ron. You know...
Okay.
I was kind of thinking about that myself. Go ahead. Sorry.
And I almost want to defer to my longtime partner over here, because she ran LTH and knows a lot more about this. But I will say this, that we have to get a license to broadcast off that tower.
Right.
And you don't realize how many thousands of people are listening right now and never call or anything. And it's still 93% of Americans listen to local radio in a week.
Very cool.
And it's very... very powerful, and a lot of people know that, okay?
Right.
And you have to wonder what is going to happen, because they may go after some licenses at the very top. I'm not altogether sure they don't start at the bottom, which would be the small Class C radio stations. But you have to build a separate channel, and Adriana is doing that, which would not be regulated by the FCC whatsoever.
Whee!
So, we talk about it all the time.
Look at us breaking the rules.
Well, I mean, my duty is to make sure that this continues.
Right.
And that's the number one thing from the beginning. I walked in and we put a bunch of money down and we fought McDermott's for the license. And then I realized, why am I even doing this? And then it hit me. The purpose is the number one thing you have to put above other people's feelings or anything else is that you have to make sure that it endures, because of what Matlock said is that people are able to express their opinions. And sometimes it's opinions that are against
Right.
You mean, look at our own city here. I don't get an invitation to go ride the train. Why is that? Okay. I mean, you got to realize that when people speak openly, it's going to be a problem, right?
Right.
So the number one purpose is I have to continue and I have to make arrangements, and Lori is working with me, that this continues, because you have to anticipate risk. And I do anticipate risk. I don't think it's going to happen, and I think we're good. But if it, I'm ready and willing, and we know what to do, and we make pledges to our advertisers. All we're going to do is let people talk. That's all we're going to do. Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, that sounds good. And it's been going on for 102 years with no change at all to the general purpose and goals and mission behind it. Adriana's part of it now. Lynette's part of it. Joe Cimino. You get all sorts of young people that are in and also kind of believe in it.
Yeah.
But at the very core, you have to make as your number one mission survival. I mean, this thing almost went away because people forgot about that mission, and I just want to make sure that doesn't happen. So I don't know if someone's going to come after the WJOB license or WLTH license, because they do pretty much the same thing, just let people talk. But you have to make arrangements for risk. Your thoughts, Verly?
Well, I agree with you. You always have to be one step ahead, and you have to anticipate everything. So, I mean, lawsuits are something that media has dealt with for ever since media
forever,
existed.
right?
Yeah. And so knowing the risk, being prepared is key, and definitely having legal representation always available.
So, I mean, it all comes down to the mission, and the mission continues. And I want to thank you guys I literally yesterday I was able to take a sales meeting. I was able to go through, and basically I'm almost done with the proposal, which probably would have never done before. I just would have forgotten about it because I was so busy.
Yeah.
Now I got another sales meeting in a little while. I'm into marketing. I'm into monetization. I'm into making local businesses aware that they can pivot to local. And you may not realize it, but it's massive right now. A lot of brands would rather put themselves out locally with the local media, and they're really coming after it. And so I'm like, man, we're way behind in getting back to people and so forth. I need this quarter, and you guys have made that possible. You know what? I can sit for one more segment. Are you okay, or
yes,
you got to go?
But you guys got to take a break, please.
We're
Thank
good.
you.
Okay.
We could do another segment, but
I
we got to take a
sat
break.
through a meeting yesterday, and like, all right, you want to podcast part of it? I go, well, hey, listen, here's how this is going to work. 22-year-old senior in college is going to tell you what to do and how to do it, and where this needs to go in terms of SEO and stuff. And they're like, what do you mean, a 22-year-old student? I'm like, you either accept that or you don't. But that's, if you want a podcast, you're going to be told by a 22-year-old what to do. All right. You're telling us to take a break.
So we're going to take a break. You are listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live here on YouTube. And if you want to call in and fill up the phone lines, 219-845-1100. So that way people are like, there's no call, no Tuesday. No, we can make that change. There's 43 people watching. 43 people can call in. And
you can call in or not. It's your choice. We're having fun.
All that know is that's what they said. So we're going to hear a word from our sponsors here at Strachan Van Til Studios. And what better way to do that than start with an advertisement from Strachan Van Til. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
Ogren Insurance, Hammond's oldest family-owned independent insurance agency, now in its third generation providing clients in the Chicago area with products from quality insurance companies to handle your every need. Regardless of driving history, Ogren Insurance can find the right coverage for you at competitive prices. To learn more about the insurance solutions and services we offer throughout Indiana, Illinois, and Michigan, call 219-933-0076 or visit our website, ogreninsurance.com. We're located at 6929 Homan Avenue in Hammond, Indiana. Indiana. Do business locally with someone you know and trust.
When your home needs help, the last thing you need is a faceless corporation or sales-driven franchise. At Myers Companies, we've been proudly local since 1951, born and raised right here in Northwest Indiana. We're family-owned and operated, built on trust, hard work, and integrity. And because we're family, we treat you like family. Your comfort and safety always come first. For HVAC, plumbing, and electrical done right, choose Myers Companies. Local, family-owned, here for your family.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Open 7 days a week in 4 convenient locations: Highland, Griffith, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, air freshener, and a towel with every wash. It's fast, safe, and gentle. For more information and hours of all our locations, visit myeasyclean.com. Also, see how you can wash your car daily with our $10 Ultimate Wash for only $19.99 per month. Give your car the best clean at Easy Clean Car Wash.
Can you save money and still get reliable phone service? With Tello Mobile, the answer is yes. In an era of overpriced everything, Tello Mobile comes with an excellent phone service that actually has the best prices. Super customizable phone plan options that start at just $5 a month and go up to only $25. And the best part, you're free to tailor your plan to fit your needs and budget. Tello Mobile, phone plans just the way you like it. Visit Tello.com to discover more.
All right, good morning. You're listening to That's What They Said on WJOB, 1230 AM, 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live here on YouTube. So before we get started, we're going to do some weather, and then Jim's going to do traffic because you don't like how we all do traffic.
I do not.
No, it's okay, though. We say the number. I've been saying the Bishop Ford, Dan Ryan. I'm getting better, but it's okay. So currently right now at the Track and Van Til Studios, it is 66 degrees. Today we are seeing highs of 72, lows of 38, cloudy, windy, and warm conditions with a couple of heavy thunderstorms, especially in the late day. There can be damaging winds, hail, and even an isolated tornado. Tonight, cooler periods of rain and a thunderstorm this evening, becoming breezy with a shower in the late spots in the area. Our rainy conditions continue tomorrow with a dip in temperatures of a high of 49 degrees and a low of 45. A little rain, breezy, and cooler, a shower and thunderstorm later on in the night. Thursday, we jump back up in temperatures, high of 72, low of 50, showers, and a heavier thunderstorm, periods of rain and thunderstorms. And, you know, everybody's just getting a free car wash. Gas prices are up. Hey, at least our cars are clean. And then we're looking at this Easter weekend. Seeing just a bit of 60-degree temperatures Sunday. Hopefully we have clear skies, a little chilly with high of 46, low of 33, but hopefully we have good weather for Easter Sunday. Let's take a look at traffic.
294 around the city looks good. 80 going east and west looks good. Bishop Ford looks good all the way up to the bridge, and then it's bad all the way downtown. So maybe a little heavier than normal. Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65 are all moving along pretty well.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, it wasn't anything exciting.
It just sounded like something from memory, like you weren't actually really looking at it.
So I wrote out detailed instructions on how to do traffic and detailed instruction on how to do the 3-day weather forecast and detailed instructions on how to do the sports update. And now we're looking at news is going to be a little bit bigger project. But I do want everybody to understand that one of the reasons that I'm not here in the mornings is that I have a bunch of things I want to work on, and one of them is to use AI as an assistant to get more information timely on the air in a regular fashion. I know you don't. We use AI all the time, and every time every time we do something, I said, "Well, how do we institute AI?" Lynette has gotten very good at it.
She has, yes.
And she was really resisting me at first. She's like, do I have to use AI in this job? And I'm like, you don't have to, but, if you want to move on, then you got to have. Now she's learning that she can use it and manage it and watch it, but make it way more efficient. We're not, that you guys, no media organization in Chicagoland is taking interns, as far as I could tell, this summer because
we have one right now.
Yeah, you have one. Not was it sponsored by Legacy Foundation?
It was. Yes, it was.
So in other words, they're paying you
We
to
are
bring
paying
them.
for all these interns.
Yeah.
No one else is.
No, I look.
I never know what happened to. We're supposed to get one, but I'm like, I don't know what happened to them.
Huh?
We were supposed to get one from the Legacy Foundation. I don't know what happened.
Well, I think they're working their way through them, but the only way that anybody in media will take one right now is if somebody pays to have them on.
I get it. I'm not saying I don't get it, but I'm still going to wince because if you are going to rely on AI for your facts, it's not there yet for it to be completely accurate, and I think you're putting yourself.
So do you feel that if with AI, that if you have like a transcript of something, or say you want a synopsis of a video, you get the transcript, that's the only way that AI will create generalized, like, actual factual information, opposed to giving the news reports? Because of course news media will lean whatever way they want to lean. It's very hard to find any news media that will be very center in everything that they do.
Right.
So do you feel that if we ask AI, hey, give me an update on the protests that have happened, and AI spits out something, it's like, yes, the Proud Democrats or the leftist lunatics, and then they go. It depends on who owns that AI generated aspect. So it just depends on what company owns it, and if we're looking for political facts, what way do they lean?
I'm not even so much going for talking about
politics,
leftist, or I'm not even putting politics in it. I'm just talking about the bare facts. I don't think that we had, what was it, last year, the Sun-Times ran an AI piece, and half the books that it was, purporting to plug didn't even exist. Mm-hmm. So how do you have credibility if the AI is making up lies?
You've narrowed it only to like writing news articles,
right?
I mean, I just mentioned. I said news is a different animal, but AI can do the traffic. AI can assist you with the weather. It can assist you with traffic, and it can assist you with a sports update that you've already written for something else, and you need a condensed version. Do you want to oversee your actual news coverage? Of course you do. And that is where you have to slowly work it in. But make no mistake, I know that there are, especially amongst the reporter class, it's like, oh my gosh, AI is sucks. It's going to make us all go away and not have our jobs. And that was what Lynette came in with. I said, well, Lynette, let's listen to what Matt Hansen has to say with it. I go, Matt, what do you tell students? It says, students, you have to, if you want to be relevant in this upcoming working world, your best path is to learn how to use AI within a system that isn't necessarily AI, but you can use little pieces of it to make it more efficient.
Oh, sure.
Our job, as I told you before, the mission is to adapt the newest technologies to WJOB so that it remains relevant.
Sure.
If I'm going to sit here and take AP code off of a ticker tape, I mean, we would be out of business a long time ago. We just what's the newest technology that can help us get the best information out there? Now, it's always going to go up against reporters like yourself,
right?
But as an owner, you have to look at it and say, man, we can do a lot more. We can do a lot more for our listeners and for our viewers. And she can do a lot more with her podcast network. And then this video will be going through AI, and she'll cut up a couple reels and she'll put them up on internet, and she won't edit anything. It will all be done for her. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm excited that we have the opportunities. See, what happened is the technology used to only be Google and Facebook and Microsoft. Those are the only people that could afford it.
Right.
Now the technology got democratized. Now we can use all of the same technology, and we can keep it here local at the same time that brands are saying, man, I'm tired of just fighting for half a second of an algorithm for $200 from Facebook. I could do it locally and get a lot more done with a lot less money, and that is a huge shift is happening on the pivoting to local. But I have a couple. Verily, that train opens today on the Westlake corridor. Way over budget, way late, but it is opening. Does it make a change to the western part of Lake County and to the eastern part of Illinois?
Yes, it makes it more commutable for economic opportunities for people who want to work in Chicago and don't want to battle the traffic of the Bishop Ford or spend the money on the Skyway.
Or come all the way to East Chicago or even Hammond stations.
Exactly. So definitely it brings more people from Illinois into Indiana to buy some of those lots and homes that are already there and existing. I think it's a boon. I'm a strong proponent of public transportation.
Yep.
Mass transportation. I feel that we're a little archaic in how we provide it, that some of the other communities offer far more, but I applaud the South Shore and I applaud the Gary Public Transportation Company for making jobs accessible.
GPTC, what's going to happen to that?
It's going to exist. It's got to get people to these train stations. It's taken the forefront in regards to reaching outside of Gary.
Yeah, GPTC is not just a Gary thing. I mean, GPTC is responsible for getting workers in Gary out to Crown Point and out to, points thereof. It's the only game in town.
Right. East Chicago has basically been a focus of East Chicago, free transportation for East Chicago residents, getting them from point A to point B. Gary has become the catalyst for providing transportation all over the region.
Yeah.
So let's do this. Adriana, 22-year-old student at PNW. Is anybody talking about this?
Not really. Not that I know. I haven't heard much talk about this. If anything, people are just more focused on, or at least at the point in time, they haven't been really looking at politics. And if they do, they did their own protest recently when we were talking about ICE and seeing everything happen. The school had their own protests. Many people wanted to come out, support, and then they still want to do a lot more with that. But I think it's just there's so many different things, especially being in the later teens to early 20s, that people are just kind of overwhelmed. And they're like, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to do adulting, but I'm told that every single thing of being an adult is going down the drain.
Mm-hmm.
So what do I do? And
what do you mean?
Well, affordability is one thing. Buying a car, owning a house, getting a job, getting
insurance to pay for it.
Getting
Right.
Put the camera on you.
It is.
Oh, it is. All right. We see something different.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We talked about
the insurance to pay for it. Looking at education, and if you have to continue to get a further in your degree besides high school, undergrad, if you choose not to go into the labor jobs, go into the labor jobs, you're going to always be useful. But there's some individuals that may not want to do that, and then they go into the undergrad, and then they realize, okay, well, if I don't have the higher degree, I'm not really going to get a job. So do I go within and continue on getting more and more in debt just to make sure that I have to be able to have a livable wage? And then they look at the talks. I don't know if it was still in talks, but it was the retirement age, if that is going to be higher or if it's not. Minimum wage is a thing that is always in talks, if they will raise it from $7.50.
For God's sake, how is that still a discussion?
And it's there. And if they do raise it, and there's individuals who, and it was $15 that they proposed,
right?
Then what happens to
That's
those
what
individuals?
The governor should be talking about.
Yeah. What happens to those individuals that do make $15 an hour? Do they get a higher wage increase, or do they stay at that 15 at minimum wage now
for 30 years, like we've done at $7.50 or whatever,
so
$7.25?
It's the factor of, all right, and then we have a war, and then we have the national debt that is put into our laps. So it's a whole bunch of things, and that's not even a quarter of it.
And that's what you guys, you spend all your life worrying. That's not a good thing. That's not the way to live your life.
No.
First of all, worrying about whether or not
you
I'm serious.
worry all the
no,
time.
I don't. No, Jim, I really don't. And let me say this to you,
They're worried
Adriana.
about all of that.
Yeah,
opposed
it's too much to worry about. You need to enjoy your life. First of all, worrying about whether you can buy a house, what does that matter right now? You worry about buying a house if you get married, if you have kids.
Right.
Worrying
But
about
some
buying a
people don't wanna
house.
do that.
Yeah, but worrying about buying a house right now should not be a priority.
Right, but we're buying the house. Forget buying the house. How about we want to move out of our parents' house and go into an apartment?
Exactly.
That, now we're, instead of, having one roommate, now we have to have 3 or 4 to be able to afford a 2-bedroom apartment because it's, $1,400. How are they able to do that without working? How many jobs do you have right now, Adriana? How many? 3?
4.
Actually, no, I have 2 at the moment.
Oh, okay.
You dropped one? You dropped 2?
Right.
I dropped 2 at the moment. It's not in season for those things, but
But
yeah.
she's paying all that, and you're still in the dorm now, right? Or are you back home?
I'm there for another month, and then I'm back home.
Right. So she has all those worries, and she still lives at home, basically.
Right.
Quote, unquote. So
right.
I think that I don't worry, Jim. I really don't. Things just happen. I live my life. Things always just happen for the good. And you cannot spend your life worrying because you will grow old so fast. That's just too stressful.
Well,
She
I
just
think-
named
It is stressful.
a litany of things that are just too much for a 22-year-old to deal with.
So I asked her about, are they talking about the train?
No,
Right, and that's what she
hold
gave
on
you.
a second.
Wouldn't they-
It's
we
like,
don't-
you can't.
we can't.
There's no talk about the train amongst
Because
young
we're
people.
worried about everything else that the train
I get
doesn't.
it.
The train doesn't cross our minds,
But
and
some-
we're just like, okay,
Yeah.
just add on another thing on top of everything that we're worrying about. You're right that we shouldn't have to be worrying about all of these things in our life, and that we should have to enjoy life. But sometimes it's luxury isn't always there.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
there are moments and times where we can let go and let loose for maybe 5 hours in a day. But then, hey, the 19 hours of the rest of the day comes back.
Oh my gosh,
So-
you poor baby.
So the train opening, I think, is today at 10:45.
Nobody's
Can you
talking
go
about
through?
that.
Can you go through my emails and make sure I didn't get an invite?
I can't believe that he
because
didn't get an invite,
it's
and you need to go
possible.
home and change if you did
just
get
type
one.
in Monon, Monon, and it might be whatever. I doubt it. But I am going to go out and watch Governor Braun, maybe.
At BP
March
or at the train.
with the picketers before. I mean, that story is way overshadowing.
All right, so you really believe he is going to be out there marching with the picketers?
I don't know. That's the rumor. I mean, that's if he is going against British Petroleum today, I want to see it.
So do you think that British Petroleum is not used to people having work disruptions? I know May 1st is coming up, and in Europe, May Day is a big thing. It's like all kinds of protests and marches and disruptions. And do you think that BP is just used to it anyway, and they really don't care if you put a big rat and inflate him with helium
a big rat.
and sit him out in front of your facility? Do you think they really care about that?
I think the wild card is the war that's going on in the blockage of the state of Hormuz.
Hormuz, yeah. Yes.
Hormuz. So it's hard for me to understand what is really going on, and I just want to. It bugs me when I can't understand something, and I'm like, why? I don't get. I can usually, Michelle, you and I've been in this. I've been on this for 40 years.
Yeah,
I can usually kind of figure out somebody's strategy and what
Sure.
they're trying to do.
Sure.
I got nothing here. I don't feel it. I'm like, why? Why would why? You're talking 800 workers. You're really trying to cut 110 jobs or
Right.
something, and then cut a little bit of money off of the new hire. I mean, how much could you really save versus the $7.5 billion that you're making in a year? It seems incremental. Now, from Braun's side, I'm like, all right, well, what's happening in Gary? Well, somebody from the outside bought U.S. Steel, right?
Right.
So if British Petroleum is able to come in and do this, and bust the union and get them down to their knees, then what does that install? I mean, does that show that the new owners, the Japanese owners,
Nippon, right?
Yeah, Nippon can do? So there's a lot at stake right now, and the same thing goes
with NIPSCO right now. I'm driving over here the other day, and I see all these people walking around with banners and things and taking a picture in front of the 167th Hammond facility over here.
Right.
I mean, there's nobody even driving by, really, and they're out there walking around and taking pictures. They're ready for some sort. I mean, so you have major labor strife going on right now in the Calumet region. Yes. At the same time, we're opening the train.
Right.
And we haven't even talked about my most favorite topic, is the Bears coming to Northwest.
It's not.
So
okay, well, if we're gonna go, is that
My
a whole
good buddy
segment?
George
If
Bliss
so, we gotta take a break.
over there in
Why
Chicago
is it not
saying
coming?
it's coming.
It's
and I'm
not.
like,
There's no way Pritzker's letting it go. It's not coming to Northwest Indiana. I'm sorry, Mayor. It's not happening. You're not going to. I know you don't like me anymore. That's fine, but I'm telling
why
you.
do you say that? What, did he say something about you or what?
Apparently, there was a whole diatribe that he used to like me, but now he doesn't like me anymore.
Where was that? On his podcast?
I guess.
He wrote it or something? Okay.
Podcast.
Yeah,
so
I guess.
Let's see. You guys, I'm going to leave, okay? And then she could go into her reasoning.
he's going. He's getting away from here because it's not safe.
No, I want to go work it. I want to go work out before I go out to British Petroleum.
Right. You could ride your bike there if it's not raining.
Oh,
Get
no,
your
it's going to
workout.
rain. Don't get electrocuted.
Yeah, well, yeah, don't do
ride
that.
your
So,
but it's safer to find the parking. I'm sure.
you know, I forgot where I was going with that, so it doesn't really matter.
There you go.
But you have...
Oh, you know what?
Wow.
Since you brought that up, Jim, and this is getting off topic totally.
Okay.
You forgot where you were going. You have always shared here on WJLB about a little bit of dyslexia.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Right. So you see what the President of the United States has come out and said about people with dyslexia?
What did he say?
Oh, what? No, I didn't see
You
this
guys
one.
did not see this?
How are
Oh,
you not
no.
seeing this? Can
No.
you pull that up,
Yes.
Adriana, and so we can get the exact quote in regard to Governor Newsom, who also has dyslexia?
Oh, it's awful, man. I mean, literally, it's so embarrassing.
So you graduated from Berkeley.
Yeah.
You have a master's degree from Purdue. You have been a trader a couple of times in your life, owned your own business. You own a radio station. You were a laborer. You have all these accolades and honors, but he has said that people with dyslexia are...
Yeah, I got the quote right
All right,
here.
go ahead.
So he was talking about Gavin Newsom.
Newsom.
Sorry.
Newsom, that's his nickname.
Gavin Newsom, and he referred to him as President of the United States during this, but he said, and he's going off on him, and he says, with a low IQ person, let me put there we go. With a low IQ person, because Gavin Newsom has admitted that he has a learning disability, Trump told reporters in the Oval Office on, this was Monday, so this was on March 16th. So that past Monday before that. Let's see here.
What did he say?
He told reporters in the Oval Office, Newsom is his nickname for the governor. Honestly, I am all for people with learning disabilities, but not for my president. I think a president should not have a learning disability, okay? And I know it's highly controversial to say such a horrible thing. He added that the President of the United States, Gavin Newsom, admitted that he has a learning disability, dyslexia. Everything about him is dumb. So in the president's eyes, you would never be president because of your learning disability.
So I wonder what you're dumb because you have dyslexia.
Wow, that's pretty deep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are affected by this, and honestly, it takes a lot longer to read things sometimes and go through it. Like I'm doing this presentation, and I got to get done by noon. You're reading it so that you could see, hey, you said it exactly backwards, or your numbers are backwards, or whatever, and that does happen. And gosh, like a very practical problem is like my buddy in California, my freshman roommate, he divorced his wife 20 years ago, and then he got a new wife.
Don't tell me you called her the old wife's name.
I can't. Alexis is always like, when she wants me to remember something, she always gives me 3 choices. And triangulation is a good way around it. But if there's only 2 choices, I can't distinguish which one's the good one and which one's the bad one. Like she might say, go get the diced tomatoes, but get the ones with the spices in them. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sounds easy enough. As soon as I get there, I'm like, all right, I know I got to get diced tomatoes, but I don't think she wants the spices because I think she wants to spice them herself. I can't distinguish.
Oh, that's just being a husband. I mean, everyone's husband has that issue. Send you a text, and that way you can read it.
Yeah, that's what it's all come down to. But the like my buddy's wife won't even talk to me because I keep calling her by the old wife's name. And I'm just like, I'm so sorry. And then my wife tries to explain, this is how it happens and so forth. But if I could never be president, how about governor? Could I be governor?
Well, he is governor. Isn't that showing you something?
Hey, thank you for letting me sit in with you. And like I said, there's a lot going on. Braun's coming to British Petroleum. He's coming out to open up the train. And dignitaries all over the region have been invited to.
And we need to find his invitation.
All right, hold on. Let me look right now. Let me go into my email.
All right. Okay, I found it, but it's for today, you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Because the one I'm looking at is April 16th. So.
All right. So
you do see an invitation for him, though.
Yes, but that's
What's
for
it say?
Thursday, April 16th. It is the City of Hammond invites you to the downtown Hammond train station groundbreaking ceremony.
Oh.
That is on Russell Street, west of.
But what's the year? What year is that? That looks old.
2026.
Oh, really? The groundbreaking? No, it shouldn't be groundbreaking. It should be actually the start of the train.
Says at 1 p.m. That's the invitation I saw.
What's the date on that? That can't be right.
This was sent to you on March 27th.
On March 27th, and it says groundbreaking ceremony.
Yes.
Please see the press release and updated flyer. Our groundbreaking ceremony is taking place for something. This is for something else.
That's something else.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that showed up.
Yeah, this is on April 16th, so I don't know.
Just take your credentials, Jim.
Take a press pass.
I'm sending the reporter out there.
Okay.
I don't know if he's been, but I'm going out to British Petroleum. I want to see this. All right, guys, thanks for letting me
Thanks for joining us.
Talk to
See you out there.
We're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to discuss police dogs.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Sounds good. All right. We're going to
be
hear
right
a
back.
word from our sponsors. You're listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this.
From the gas in your car to the heat in your home and the roads that you drive on, our work powers daily life. We are USW Local 71, the proud men and women of the Whiting Refinery. We're not just refinery workers. We're your friends and neighbors, raising our families here, shopping in the same stores, and cheering in the same stands. USW Local 71, powering the region because we are the region.
It's gold rush time at Albert's. Oh, looky here. Oh, those are going to fetch a pretty penny.
Who's going to buy them from us?
I'll buy that gold from you. What did you say?
I said I'll buy that gold from you, and I'll give you top dollar.
That sounds great.
It's gold rush time. We will see you at Albert's.
For over 140 years, the Central Midwest Carpenters have built our communities in Northwest Indiana. Are you ready to join the effort? We have long-term work, competitive pay, and the best benefits in the industry. We pride ourselves on innovative training and commitment to worksite safety. Earn as you learn as an apprentice. A solid career built on a solid legacy. For more info, go to carpenters.com.
Are you searching for a college where you belong? Calumet College of St. Joseph wants to know you and give you the support you need to succeed. Are you worried about how you'll pay for your degree? 95% of our students receive financial aid, including scholarships and grants. Need some extra help with your classes? You'll benefit from our small class sizes, free tutoring, internship planning, faculty mentors, and so much more. Come experience our accepting, supportive college family for yourself. Schedule your campus visit and apply at ccsj.edu.
right, welcome back. You are listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you're also watching live here on YouTube. We're going to get into some traffic and weather. It is 8:01 here at the Shack and Van Til Studios. Let's take a look at traffic. Traffic in the northwest region is looking pretty good. 65 going north and south is looking good. 80 going east and west. 90 going east and west. Chicago Skyways, Lakeshore Drive is all coming along great. We do got an accident on the Dan Ryan accident on the right shoulder, I-57 going south at Sibley Boulevard, and there hasn't been any traffic created around that. That was updated about 7 minutes ago, so doesn't seem to be an issue. We do got a bit of traffic at the connector of the Bishop Ford going west, and that continues all the way up to the city, so there's going to be a lot of traffic on your morning commute headed into the city. Stevenson going north is looking pretty heavy in traffic all the way through. Going south, not as much, a little bit of stop-and-go traffic. Eisenhower going east and west, a lot of stop-and-go traffic. And then as you get into that Rosemont area, you're going to be heavy in traffic, but that's just expected with the morning commute, especially because it's raining as well. A lot of people like to drive a little slower with this rain, these raining conditions. Speaking of rain, let's take a look at our weather.
No.
Let's take a look at our weather. Currently, right now at the Jack and Van Til Studios, it is 67 degrees. Today, we are seeing highs of 72, lows of 38, cloudy, windy, and warm with a couple of heavy thunderstorms, especially late in the day. Be damaging winds, hail, and even an isolated tornadoes in some areas tonight. Cooler periods of rain and a thunderstorm this evening, becoming breezy with a shower spots in the late. Wednesday, highs of 49 degrees, lows of 45, a little rain, breezy and cooler, a shower and thunderstorms later on in the evening. And then on Thursday, highs of 72 degrees, lows of 50 degrees, shower and a heavier thunderstorm, periods of rain and a thunderstorm will occur later on. As we continue on into Easter weekend, seeing 60s for Fridays and Saturdays. Sunday, we dip down a bit cooler, but hopefully we have some sunny conditions for Easter Sunday as we are looking at highs of 46, lows of 33, and I'm hoping that those go up eventually. That is all for, if I can get to like 50, 55, be appreciated, but going up 10 degrees between now and then, maybe not happening. So That's all for your traffic and weather. Let's get back into the show. I'm going to fix this camera real quick before. Because, you guys are doing the segment. And what are we talking about?
Man, well, first of all, this morning I was so excited when I woke up and I saw that the rain, it was supposed to rain in the morning, and then at least for the governor's appearance that it was not going to be raining. But now it's raining, or it's going to be raining, and it may even be thunderstorming. And I'm like, man.
Do you keep a poncho in your car for when you have to do interviews in the rain?
I do have my raincoat. I don't have. I had a rain poncho, but it has since it was trashed hard enough that I had to toss it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I suppose if I have time, I can stop in and grab one. But I mean, I've got my raincoat, but I can't use my Remarkable. So at least I knew enough. I've got my pencil and a regular, paper to write on for that, or But I just.
I have to find you a really good poncho. Ann Herbert gave me one once because she worked with Red Cross.
Oh yeah,
she had a really nice poncho. Gave it to me, and I used it when we stood outside in the rain waiting to see Barack Obama when he came to Gary.
Yeah.
For over 3 hours. That was the same venue at the Genesis Center back when it was still
open.
Where actually Mad Max was there as well.
Of course he was.
Yeah, he was there to see President, at the time he was former President Barack Obama. So it just shows, how supportive he was of the president as well. For him
he's always a big supporter.
Ridden his bike, I think, out there.
Cool.
That was real cool. It was well worth standing on the rain, but you'd need a good poncho so that when you're doing those interviews, you're beautiful. What would we call that? Silver or gray?
I would say more silver, but I don't know. It's
beautiful.
Well, thank you.
Actually, the light reflects off your hair.
Well, thank you.
I hate that we don't have outside windows, so we can't even see when it's raining.
Yeah.
Adriana, I assume you can see through that window where you're sitting on the side there.
I can see a little bit. Yeah, it's a little sunshine coming in.
Okay,
bringing
good.
Positivity and light into everybody's day.
Okay.
We know it.
So, Michelle, you sent me something regarding
I didn't know
something that the congressman did not, our current congressman Frank Mervan did not support.
Yeah, it was something about something about police dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there was some sort of bill that was trying to be passed that police dogs, that if somebody harms a police dog, that they could get deported, and I guess it was stronger protections against or for police dogs. I that's kind of how I understand it.
Mm-hmm. So the interesting part about it is there is already laws on the books.
Right.
Police dogs. We all know we love our police officers and we love the dogs that serve alongside them.
Exactly.
So basically, I reached out to the congressman because he has no problem responding to his constituents when they're requested. I mean, he might have a problem sometimes when people have formerly, been contractors for his office or something, responding to them or going on shows where I don't know.
Sure.
Yeah. The viewers or listeners or callers have against him. But he said that the Democrats had two main objectives. So this is the statement from the congressman regarding not supporting this issue,
right.
This Bow Wow Act. He said, number one, redundancy. Existing laws already cover it.
Right.
We're trying to find more and more reasons why we want to get people out of this country.
Right. Exactly.
Country. So, he's not going to fall for that. He said a key Democratic argument was that the bill would do little to strengthen existing federal law, since assaulting a police animal is already illegal and can already trigger deportation proceedings.
Right.
So, people just want to put something out there. Representative Jamie Raskin put it bluntly on the floor, noting that specific case that prompted the bill, Freddie got justice. We got a system that actually works there.
Right.
Okay? Due process concerns. Democrats raised concerns that the bill would penalize individuals who are not yet convicted, but simply admitted to hurting an animal, meaning someone could be deported without a formal court conviction. They feared the Bow Wow Act would lead to removals of legal immigrants without due process protections. Political framing priorities. Some of the Democrats also framed their opposition as a matter of congressional priorities. Representative Raskin said on the floor, here's what America is talking about. Donald Trump's unauthorized, undeclared war of choice. What are MAGA Republicans in Congress talking about this week? They're talking about the Bow Wow Act. So we got a war, folks. They're getting ready to send 1,000 troops on the ground. They want to send them to an island where they are heavily mined. I mean, what are we thinking? The argument being that Republicans are using the bill as a political distraction. We know about distractions, folks. The war started because we didn't want to talk about Epstein.
Yeah.
Hypocrisy argument. Representative Dan Goldman pointed out that the bill notably excluded the animal cruelty of the Department of Homeland Security's own Kristi Noem, who publicly admitted shooting her own puppy.
She wrote about it.
She killed her own.
She killed her own dog, and then she kill a goat too. Yeah.
She sacrificed an animal.
What's his name? Billy?
Apparently, who knows what the 1% do?
I don't know. Republicans fired back hard. Speaker Johnson accused Democrats of becoming the party of punching puppies. Speaker Miller called their votes truly sickening. The bill now heads to the Senate, which is expected to face strong Democratic opposition and likely won't reach the 60-vote threshold needed to overcome a filibuster. So that is the statement from our own Congressman Frank Mervan regarding the reason why he is not supporting the Bow Wow Act. Okay. But ask Kristi Noem how she feels about it.
Well, Kristi and I think Kristi and Corey have their own problems. She's still bringing him along in her new, dignitary role of whatever she's doing right now, and she's still bringing him along. But they're not having an affair or anything.
No.
Okay. So anyway, what else do we have to talk about?
Well,
how late are we going today? Are we going?
You guys are here until 9:00.
Oh wow! All right,
we got the full 3 hours. That's usually how it happens near the end of the month, and that's just because a lot of the shows throughout the end of the month they go on the every first, second, third of whatever day of the week, and it's just because the fourth week of the month is kind of iffy.
Sure.
Whereas, okay, we're starting into the month, like I think the first is on Thursday. No, the first is tomorrow. What am I thinking of? First is tomorrow. But
April Fools.
April Fools, yeah, so sorry. But, yeah, it's one of those things. We were talking about the Pope and his thoughts on the war, but there's also the school there here in the Northwest Indiana region. They are consolidating a lot of parishes.
I saw that.
Yes. Did you guys want to talk about that alongside with that? That's where I thought that segue was going.
Yeah. Well, we could, and I think that's important because I know that you are very Catholic, or at least more Catholic than I am. Absolutely.
So can you be more Catholic? If you're Catholic, you're Catholic. I mean, you may support everything that the Catholic Church does, or you may question certain things, but that doesn't make you any less Catholic.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Catholic is Catholic. If you were baptized, you made your first communion, and your confirmation, and you haven't done holy orders because you're not a priest, or you've done your matrimony, or last rites because you're not dead or dying, you're a Catholic. Okay?
All
so
right.
Catholic is Catholic. Practicing might be a phrase that people would use to say that you actually
lapsed
live, or you could be lapsed, but you're still Catholic. Okay,
fair enough.
Yeah. So I guess everyone here is Catholic. In fact, that is amazing.
There we go.
Look at that.
Yeah. All four of us here in the studio. We do have another person here in the studio. She has not chosen to come on camera, but if she chooses to do so, she is more than welcome to take the spot that was just vacated by Jim Dietlow.
Yep.
We welcome that individual. I won't even say if it's a he or she to join us if that person chooses to do so, to talk about Christology, because she actually... Well, he or she actually does serve on a board.
Cool.
In the Catholic Diocese of Gary. But I will make another disclaimer because I was actually a person who was involved in dealing with these closures, actually served as a representative.
Oh, boy.
So I have to put that out there that I was there.
That's rough.
In the meetings with the facilitators and the individual that the diocese paid all this money to come and do something that we didn't really need him to come and do. But that's my thoughts, and I definitely shared. He never told me how much he was getting paid, which I questioned. But I said right off the bat, the bishop did not need to spend money to bring anybody from outside of the Gary Diocese to help facilitate what churches would close and why. So I say that to say that my church is one of the churches that is actually closing. And we are closing the 24th of May will be our last Mass at the only, and I will say this, the only African-American Catholic church in the Gary Diocese. Oof. In the largest African-American community.
That's Monica and Mark, right?
St. Monica and Luke.
Luke, rather. Sorry.
So, yes, we will be closing. Now, you ladies go ahead, and I'll weigh in whenever.
Yeah, I was just going to read the highlights of this through NWI Times, so let me get that here, and then I'll read just kind of the synopsis of it as well. So, this was on March 27th. But the Diocese of Gary is looking to consolidate more parishes in Northwest Indiana due in part to the strain put on the clergy in running a vast network of churches built for a different era. In total of 41 parishes across Northwest Indiana plan to consolidate ministries. Diocese of Gary Director of Communication, Colleen McGinney Rabin, said that since 2000, parishes in Maryville, Michigan City, Hammond, East Chicago, and Whiting have consolidated. The quote here says, "The simple truth is that the parishes throughout the Diocese of Gary have engaged in pastoral planning." She says, in the last 4 years, 11 parishes have merged, 6 churches buildings are in use, and 5 church buildings are no longer in use of worship. So kind of just the rundown of it. As we said, approximately 41 parishes are involved in planning and collaboration process. The reasons are the consolidations are driven by a need to address the strain on the clergy, declining attendance, and the high cost of maintaining large, older church buildings. Now, the specific mergers announced in the plans include St. Joseph's and Dyer set to merge with St. Maria Goretti.
Right.
St. Anne and Gary set to merge with St. Mary's and Griffith. St. Mary's and St. Matthias and Crown Point to merge but maintain both worship sites. Previous actions in May 2025, 14 Lake County churches 14 Lake County churches were scheduled to merge. The regional impact, these changes are part of a broader, large-term trend of reconstructing in the diocese to adapt change in demographics and available resources. So this has actually happened with the church that I used to go to, the one that I grew up going to, St. Stanislaus, that they had closed their doors to the public, and they were still doing kind of funerals and different services. They still use the church for the school.
Right.
They still have there, but it was open to the public for so long, and then my family we have to move to a different parish. And that was one thing I just didn't think would happen because I've known that church to be there for so long. And going there since I was a little kid, little 3-year-old kid.
Right.
And then for so long, knowing that was closing, I was like, oh, okay, so then what? It's like, what do you do now? And all of these churches merge. And, of course, you have those everyday churchgoers that like their church because it is there's a certain way they choose to worship.
Right.
And making that change, it is a bit difficult because how you've been going to church for so many years, now you have to go to a different one. They're going to do things a little bit differently. So I can imagine that this is a very big issue for a lot of people in the community, especially those who are becoming more comfortable going to church, because I know due to the pandemic that was a big thing that people were not comfortable with. I remember,
which probably wiped out quite a bit of church attendance anyway.
Yeah, that was a big strain on that too. Not just that people were choosing not to go, but then also due to the pandemic, a lot of people are just now. I wouldn't say just now. I would say in the past 2 years, we're getting a bit more comfortable going to church again.
Right.
I remember seeing my family members that went to church every single week. They were still watching it on the TV, even when the restrictions came up, and they were just like, "Nope, we're opening our doors once again." They didn't want to go because it was that fear that this is something that I can do. I've been doing this. They were watching on TV for so long. So I can imagine that it is a bit struggle. And also for those in the community that they would walk to their churches, that they didn't have forms of transportation. And then now they have to go from, say, that if you had a church that was a few blocks down, now you have to go to a church that is maybe a 20-minute car drive.
Well, exactly. I'm interested. St. Anne and I'm not familiar where St. Anne is in Gary, but St. Anne and St. Mary's.
Black Oak area.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense then. So which church stays open? Does St. Anne stay open or does St. Mary's stay open?
St. Mary's stays open.
Okay. Okay, so people from Black Oak will now have to come to Griffith then, which is, that's not super far.
That's why they included St. Anne's in with Griffith because I'm going to say demographic-wise, but because of proximity to Griffith versus, the other churches in Gary.
Yeah, the one that I thought was crazy because I remember was it last spring? Anyway, I remember talking to some Catholic folk, the church in Hammond.
St. Joseph?
Yeah, that's the one. And that's the one that does all the, that it's got a massive, soup kitchen. And that one, and it's like, as I understand it, it's kind of the mother church of Westlake County because it started, and from there, St. Tom's, was born out of there. And, it's kind of a big deal. And someone was gunning for that one, like right out of the gate. And how are you going to get rid of a church that does so much good? Also St. Monica's and Luke.
No, of course. And with St. Joseph, the plan was to actually take the soup kitchen off site and put it, in another facility to maintain, because that's a daily soup kitchen that serves that community. So I guess the elephant in the room is not to so much address the reason why, the fact that these churches are closing, but to address the reason why. And that is the lack of priests and the numbers of dwindling attendance.
Yeah.
So are Catholics leaving the Catholic Church, going to some of these mega churches that are non-denominational? Are they not getting their needs met within the Catholic Church? Why are not young people going into the priesthood? Back in the early times, you have a child going into the priesthood or a daughter going into the convent was your pride and joy. The fact that someone did that.
Yeah.
And the fact that now people are not doing that, what does that tell you about the Catholic Church? Is the Catholic Church not inspiring and instilling this desire to serve other than lay people? My kids went to Holy Trinity Croatian for elementary school, where there was a nun teaching every other class.
Right.
My youngest daughter went to St. Mary's, went to Knoll for junior high and high school, because Bishop Knoll had a junior high for a short time. She never had a nun teacher.
Okay.
So,
I could say I've never had a nun teacher.
Right, you went to St. Stan's,
Catholic
you never
school
had a
my
nun.
entire life. Yeah.
I don't know, was Kathleen Lowry the principal when you were there? Who was your principal?
We had Lowry, then Ruiz, and then we had another individual in between that. But the nuns, when they would teach, I remember there was one nun that would teach at St. Stanislaus, but by the time she had retired from teaching, I never had the chance to have her.
Right.
But yeah, that was something I never got that experience of, that the nuns would teach. Or
you're never wrapped
like
on the knuckles with a ruler.
Yeah, I never had to hold the Bibles out just like this as punishment. I didn't have the rulers on my hands. So yeah, that never happened. They actually were like, that might be child abuse. Let's stop on that.
Let's not do that.
But I think it's also the factor how you're saying that young people aren't really coming into that faith so much, at least within the Catholic Church. I have a lot of friends that they are finding their faith, and they are looking and exploring different options of religion outside of Catholicism. Now, I can understand that factor because, like, for me and a lot of my friends that I have growing up, we were in Catholic school our entire lives. The first public school we went to was college. That was the first one that we did.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, some people say, well, you were forced into Catholicism. Yes and no. I remember going to school and I knew some people that they went to Catholic school and they were atheists. They were just like, hey, I'm just hearing a bunch of stories. It's nothing different than a history class.
Right.
But I feel that it's that factor of, okay, well, you got to go straight into work. And they're not seeing that appeal of the priesthood or the in going into the convent as much as it once was. And I feel that the societal norms are changing that as well. So I feel that if the younger generation is coming into religion, they're doing that a little bit later, and then maybe we may see some that will join the priesthood, convents, and all that a little later in life, opposed to right away at a younger age.
Yeah.
And that adds into the factor of just like how society is portrayed and just kind of the media that we are presented, and that can change and alter decision making when it comes into these different things. But I know a lot of younger individuals that they have become less religious, even though they may have been religious their entire lives.
Right.
It's becoming less and less for that factor.
Sure.
Yep. So we are going to take a break. Do you guys have anything to wrap up this topic before we do so?
Nah.
No, I just think that your family and all the other families, I just, share the sadness of leaving a church that you've been a part of all your life.
Yeah.
The people over at Holy Trinity Croatian are actually a group of people that are still fighting it. They've closed their church, but they've actually gotten a letter from the Vatican in regard to their church closing. So there are some that will fight it. There are some who have accepted, as our church members have accepted. We've visited other churches during the process. There are 3 other Catholic churches in Gary, the Cathedral, St. Mary of the Lake, and St. Joseph the Worker. So people will make decisions as to which church they're going to join, because it didn't work out that everyone was going to join as a whole collaborative effort. St. Monica Luke merge into another church. It's just whatever your decision is what will take place.
Right.
But, you know, I just pray for the Catholic Church here in the Gary Diocese that members increase, that people find a church home that fulfills what they need, because it's not, to me, at St. Monica Luke, it was never about just going through the whole process of you go to church and you recite the prayers, and it was a family, and it was an effort of faith, and so I don't know if that will be lost by joining other churches.
Okay, I have a question. Do you want to take the break first and then we come back to it?
It's up to you. I mean, is it a quick question or is it going to continue into something more?
Well,
if you feel it's going to continue to something more, we'll take a break.
And I'm done, but Michelle, you go ahead.
No, my question was, okay, so we're going to merge these parishes. You have a lot of real estate left, right? You know, these churches. So what do you do with them? And I mean, obviously it is probably the church's prerogative. They can sell them. They can sell them to other, churches. And you always see new churches popping up and, but then what happens when, or if I should say, because, it's all kind of tenuous right now, that population or attendance starts picking up and you start picking up more Catholics and you start outgrowing the churches you have. So what do you do when you've gotten rid of the churches? So now do we build new?
Well, look what St. John did. They built new.
Right.
So they built a massive church.
Right. That's one community that's, rather well off.
So all the property is owned by the diocese.
Right.
And of course that will come out of that office. The Catholic Church does not normally leave buildings behind that turn into abandoned sites like the Methodist Church did over there.
Methodist or in Crown Point, was that a Catholic church?
Which one?
The one that, they made it into housing and then it got caught on fire and now they just had to raise it, I think that maybe that was Lutheran Church.
Okay. But once it leaves the Catholic Church, once it's sold or demolished, then the Catholic Church is no longer responsible.
Right.
So I'm sure that they will make that decision based on each facility, depending on the condition of the church, depending on the community that the church is in. If there is a plan for maybe redevelopment or something, they're going to have to make it on a church-by-church basis.
Okay.
Yeah. I was going to say, to wrap up this topic, lastly, one other aspect of that is the schools. The Catholic schools that are attached to these churches. And if the church is not in session for the general public, that may kind of stray away from those who are looking to put their children into Catholic school, that they want to be able to not only celebrate and worship on the days that the students do go to church. I know they're all different days. When I was in St. Anne's, they did it every Thursday.
Right.
St. John Bosco does it, I believe, every Friday. But they want to also go to church on Sundays again with their children. So they may deter enrollment too. Because if a church isn't open to the general public and it's only open for certain things, could that persuade a family to say, okay, well, since this church isn't open to the general public, I want one that I can go to as well alongside with my children.
I have to believe that voucher money their voucher money takes care of that.
Right. I was just going to say exactly what Michelle said in regard to St. Stanislaus. Because of vouchers, the school is being very successful. Aquinas in Maryville, despite the fact that St. Joseph the Worker no longer exists, they now call it Holy Martyrs, I think. But the school is Aquinas. St. Mary's in Crown Point, the school is there, the church is still there. So, in fact, there's even rumblings about possibly opening up a Catholic school once again in Gary at the former Holy Angels, Thea Bowman site. It's a school right there, a great facility. They may possibly reopen because of vouchers. People are, now able to send their kids to Catholic school. St. John St. John Cantius In East Chicago, they opened a charter school in what was their former school. Holy Trinity Croatian, the school's been closed. Nothing else has come in its place. So, it just depends.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a break. It is 8:30 on the dot. Perfect timing. You're listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 12:30 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana, and you're also watching live on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. We got one more segment, and then we'll be right back. But first, we are going to hear a word from our sponsors.
Planting a tree, installing a fence, whether your project is big or small, NIPSCO reminds you to know what's below and contact 811 at least 2 full business days before doing any digging so that utility companies can mark the location of their underground lines. Contacting 811 is free and it's the law. Avoid possible penalties, costly repairs, or injuries. DIY or a pro, safety is in your hands. Every dig, every time.
If you're thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or your business has plans to break ground on a new project in 2024, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's best electricians. With IBEW, Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringindiana.org today and ensure your project is in the hands of skilled professionals.
Before Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, we were being charged various maintenance fees and various check writing fees for all of our accounts. And with Notre Dame, we don't have that. We have that true community partnership. We get interest based on all of our parish and school accounts, and the interest rate is really second to none.
Have you ever considered becoming an iron worker? Local 395 is now accepting applications for their apprenticeship program. Go to ironworkers395.com. Look under the training section, click on apprenticeship, and scroll down to the application. You must be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or GED, and you must be physically able to perform the work of the trade. Find out more by calling the apprenticeship school in Lake Station at 219-962-7675 or visit ironworkers395.com.
Fishing for a seafood meal without the stress or mess of cooking? Leave the work to the Strachan Van Til Seafood Department. For just $1 extra per pound, we'll fry, grill, or steam your fish with your choice of 3 kinds of breading. Try our fish and seafood dinners. Each includes a half pound each of seafood and fries, and a quarter pound of coleslaw. Want the freshest catch in town? Reel in the fish and seafood selections from your local Strachan Van Til.
All right, good morning. You are listening to That's What They Said on WJOB 1230 AM 104.7 FM in Hammond, Indiana. And you're also watching live here on YouTube. We're going to get into some quick traffic and weather, and then we're going to go straight to the phone lines. So let's take a look. Last traffic update of the morning. Traffic in the northwest region is looking pretty good. 65 going north and south is looking good. 80 going east and west. 90 going east and west. Chicago Skyway, Lakeshore Drive is all looking pretty good. Have a little bit of traffic as you're headed up the Bishop Ford at the connector right there. And as you're headed in all the way into the city, you are seeing a lot of heavy traffic in that area. So if you are planning to go towards the city, please leave a little early. Have a little bit of traffic on the Dan Ryan going north right there at 111th Street. Taking a look at Stevens Expressway going north, a bit of traffic here and there. Going south is looking pretty good all the way through. Eisenhower going east and west is pretty heavy in traffic, and then we're looking at the Kennedy going east and up by the Rosemont area. You're going to see a bit of heavy traffic here and there. So if you are planning on going into the city or towards the airports, please be sure to leave a little bit earlier than usual due to the weather as well. That can add to the traffic. Speaking of weather, let's take a look at that. And if there's any change, right now there's no rain, but it is 66 degrees. Hopefully, we get you all out of here before it starts raining.
Yeah.
We got a high of 72 and cloudy and windy, warm conditions with a couple of thunderstorms, heaviest late in the day, damaging winds, hail, and even an isolated tornado. And tonight we're seeing cooler weather, periods of rain, and a thunderstorm later this evening, becoming breezy with a shower in spots in the late with a low of 38 degrees. Taking a look at the rest of the weather, we dip down into the low temperatures, 49 degrees as the high, 45 as the low, rain and breezy cold conditions, a shower and thunderstorm later on in the day on Wednesday. Thursday, jump back up in temperatures, but we still keep the rain with a high of 72 and a low of 50. Showers with a heavier thunderstorm, periods of rain, and a thunderstorm happening as we go into Easter weekend. We see some 60-degree temperatures and a cold Easter Sunday with a high of 46, low of 33. But the best part is partly sunny and colder. So that is all for your traffic and weather. We are going to take the phone call, and then we'll continue on with the rest of the talk today. So, right. Good morning, caller. You are on the air. What is on your mind?
Hey, guys. It's Bob. How's it going?
Hey, Bob. How's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Wonderful. Hey, I was listening to you guys talking about the church closures, and I wanted to chime in just from our perspective in Dyer with the possibility of St. Joe closing.
Yeah.
That when you come over the hill from Illinois, that St. Joe Church has just been a staple of, if you want to say that, if let me put it this way, if Dyer does have a skyline, that St. Joe Church is right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what we're really seeing is two different, two different approaches from this. One, the parishioners, we had them come to the town hall about a week and a half ago, and they're exploring all of their options. I'm not a Catholic, so I don't understand all of the intricacies of their right. internal laws and processes that they have. But evidently, there's some ways that they can petition to keep it open. But at the end of the day, if the diocese isn't able to keep it open, from the town perspective, we have some concerns because that is a massive building, and I would assume, all of these churches all over the area, or wherever you're seeing these consolidation of the parishes, they're so expensive to maintain. Municipalities just can't buy them to keep them for historic purposes.
Right.
St. Joe, between the steeple and the roof, I think it was maybe a year or two ago, they put about $1.5 million into that. Now that's not something municipalities can do. So on one hand, we get folks approaching us saying, hey, St. Joe's Church, obviously a historic church. It's in Dyer's, one of our historic preservation districts. But really all that does is to say, hey, Pizza Hut can't buy it and then just go paint the outside a certain color without going through certain steps. And so I just wanted to chime in and say it really is something that not only are, I think, a lot of the parishioners, the folks in Dyer, struggling with. Many have gone there for decades on decades, and I know it's the same with parishes all over. But then you have the, I guess we'll call it the public secular side of it. Is what do we do with this? If I'm assuming it's right on 30, it's a prime piece of property, but it also has that cemetery attached to it.
I was just about to say. I was just thinking.
Maintain that.
Exactly.
No, you're right. With that cemetery, there starts to get questions on if they do abandon the church. And when I say abandon, I don't mean that they'd probably just leave it to the birds of the field. But at some point, if it's not sold, you know how buildings go after they're left vacant. There's a window gets broke here and there, and then you get that broken window theory, and nobody wants to see the church tore down. And so, you're hopeful that maybe another church moves in there, maybe some type of educational opportunity moves in there, or maybe it's and maybe one of you two know, isn't there a church somewhere in Valpo that was converted into a brewery? Not that I'm saying I'm suggesting that, but I think there's probably some redevelopment opportunities for that property if and when they do close.
I think I know which brewery you're talking about, but I think I think we're talking about Beer Church. And I thought that was in Michigan. I thought,
it could
but
be,
but exactly to
honestly,
your point, yeah.
Anything to the east of the Lake County border can be Valpo or
exactly, or New Buffalo, whatever. I got you right there.
Yeah.
I have a question. Is this the only church that has a cemetery attached to it? Do any of our churches in Gary? Because I don't recall.
None of the ones that they're talking about closing.
Not public cemeteries. I know there are some that they may have that they've buried, maybe like priests that have passed during.
Well, the bishop is buried at the cathedral, so the cathedral will always be a cathedral.
Right.
So that right there in itself is the only church in
Which
Gary.
Bishop Gritka? Okay.
Is the only church that cannot be. It will always be the cathedral.
Yeah.
And is that a good option?
Yeah,
Do a lot of people attend that the cathedral?
I was there for a Palm Sunday service, and because they did a procession, the bishop was there. There were more people than normal, but on a normal weekly basis, not a whole lot.
It makes me sad.
Thank you for weighing in, Bob. I appreciate your sharing the perspective
not a problem. You
as
guys
an
have a
elected
great day.
official.
Yep, talk soon. Be safe out there.
We're going to go right back to the
Bye-bye.
phone lines.
Hey, but wait, before we do that.
Yeah, we got to
our friend.
make a little
Well, I was
introduction.
trying to give her own space, but I didn't know, But let's go ahead and introduce.
Quick little introduction.
Yes.
Before we
So
get
we
back
have
to the
with
callers.
us this morning Lori Whalen. She is the new. So I want to make sure I get it right because she's the new co-owner. I don't know if you're the general manager, the station manager, all these titles we're putting on, but we're just going to call you the boss.
It started out, I want to say maybe over 15 years ago when Jim came to us and asked if we would be interested in investing with him in the radio station.
Sure.
It was very important to us as a family to keep the 100-year-old tradition of local media in this 219 area. Very important to us, along with the 100-year-old tradition of Bishop Knoll and other institutions in the region. So we came together as a family and we decided, and our oldest daughter actually worked here. And I think you remember
Shannon. Yes.
Shannon was one of the producers.
Yes.
Well, from one of the very early producers, along with Erin Whalen, who was another, and she works, I think, for CBS Radio in Chicago.
Fantastic.
So we have a little bit of history in there. I have not been a part of managing or giving ideas to Jim, but every so often, we did, and then
We see the changes already. It's a lot cleaner.
Yes, the kitchen is much cleaner.
Oh my goodness!
One step at a time, and I'm learning. So I'm going to make a lot of mistakes. Go ahead and direct any questions, complaints, anything to Adriana until I get an email, and Adriana will let me know.
It'll be Lori at WJOB.
Right. Go ahead and complaints, criticisms, ideas. We want to improve what our region has and keep this tradition going. So I'm going to help out Jim here, and so he doesn't have to have a lot of daily responsibilities. But his knowledge and his connections is
crazy.
I'm dim in comparison.
Well,
I have a lot to learn. So Verley's texted me, called me. Michelle, you could text me, call me.
I will do that.
I'm learning a lot. Cool. So we'll see what the second quarter brings for WJOB, and I have some ideas, and we're going to get going.
Cool. Fantastic.
Awesome.
So now any of your complaints you can direct, or any of your compliments, you can direct them directly to Lori.
Yep.
And let her know what you're feeling, what you're thinking. Let's go to the phone lines, and
we
we're going
go.
to
We got
invite
couple
Lori
callers.
to just be our co-host.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come
All
on in.
four of us. Okay.
There we are. So good morning, caller. You are on the air. What's on your mind?
Hi, Adriana.
Hello.
Hey, Verley, Michelle, Lori. Good morning.
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 Lori, the first thing to learn, if you have a great idea, just convince Jed it was his idea, and it'll move forward.
There we go.
There you go. Exactly. We know how this works.
So I just want to chime in about the churches. Unfortunately, this is just coming to mass. And, it's like Monica Luke is being absorbed in the St. Mary's in Miller. And a lot of this has to do with the Franciscans were here helping out for years, the six Franciscan friars. And at any time they could get their calling to move somewhere else and serve somewhere else. And that's really part of it. That's why the consolidation is being. They just could not service every location and do it constructively and from a worship standpoint as well. So had a long conversation with Father Mike at St. Mary's of the Lake, and they're all heartbroken. But hey, they get the calling; they have to go, and that creates a huge shortage of priests. So yeah, it's a tough one taking it on the chin, but it's like anything else. You get consolidation and move forward, and the parishes will become bigger, and at least we have some place we can still go work, right?
There we
Well,
go.
thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
your
you.
call.
Indeed.
Thank
Take care.
you
Be
so
safe.
much.
Take care.
All
Take care.
right. So we got.
I will make one correction. So the Franciscans were never included in the whole paradigm of closing of churches because they knew that the bishop always knew that they could be called away at any time. This was a mission. They called it their Gary mission. The Franciscans that came, they lived at the cathedral in the directory there, beautiful, beautiful home. And they served. One by one, they were called away to different ministries. Father Aaron actually went to San Francisco to serve at a soup kitchen that serves over 1,000 people per day.
Wow.
And so they have been leaving. And then the last three that are there, Father Mike, Father Ed, and Father Lauren, were actually called away. They will be leaving the end of June. But they were never considered because of the possibility that they could be called away at any time. So the bishop knew that there was a shortage of priests, that he has to consolidate churches so that they can accommodate the churches. And many priests are serving at more than, 2 churches.
Oh, yeah.
2 and 3 in some cases. Those priests were serving at 4 churches. And so, yeah, it is part of the framework, but it was not the total consideration when it came down to having to close churches. They were just an added bonus that we did have them.
I was so Monica and Luke, St. Mary, that's who you guys are merging with, or no? Okay.
No, people are gonna go wherever they feel they live closest to. Some of the members are going to go to the cathedral because it's closer.
Yeah.
Some members have already started going to St. Joseph the Worker, which is more over there. It's more Glen Park.
Glen Park.
Right.
Park.
Okay.
So, and then the people who live, some of the people who live in Miller were already going to St. Monica Luke. Will just go to St. Mary Lake because it's more
convenient. I was
convenient.
going to say.
Yeah. So they're going to go. At this point, just because, we were used to our choir and our way of doing things, nobody's going to accept that to come in and take their church over and make it our church. So I think people have just resigned themselves to the fact that they're going to go wherever they feel comfortable and welcome.
There you go.
So, yeah. Let's go right back to the phone lines.
It's good to have options.
Yes, exactly.
Indeed.
Right. And it was good to do the visits so you could know where you felt comfortable, what church would give you what you needed.
Sure.
There we go. All right. Good morning, caller. You are on the air. What's on your mind?
Oh, good morning, ladies. Thanks for putting on a show. I have to participate every day or I just can't call because that's the rules. You have to support the station. So you guys were talking about AI earlier.
Yeah.
That's right.
Michelle, I agree with you. Michelle.
Okay.
I am in full agreement. And the reason why, and the reason why, and this is why I'm focusing on common ground between all of us, no matter party, because I am neither. We have to get the truth, and the truth is skewed. And the reliance on AI, in my opinion, for that truth is about the most dangerous road you could go down. And this is coming from a 30-year tech veteran. In the 5th grade, I ran BBS boards around here on a Commodore 64 and had people calling in from all over.
I remember my Commodore.
And I've seen... Yeah, remember? Yeah, exactly. And I've seen a lot of tech come and a lot of tech go.
Right.
And this AI is going to evolve into something in the future here. But the key is to visit sites like Hugging Face, okay? Hugging Face. That will give you the ability to install uncensored large language models or large uncensored AI. Like one of them is Dolphin, a biterated uncensored Qwen. Nuos Hermes is one that I remember, and there's one other one that's a DeepSeek, but that one may be Chinese, and there's a whole big thing around that.
What do you
but
think
I'm
about
sorry,
Claude?
Everyone in China is not against it. I don't trust any of those big ones. They're all skewed. They are all censored models. The training in them basically won't give you exactly what you're looking for. And when you use something or run it locally on Hugging Face, and it's actually cheaper than things like Claude, I think they're ripping everybody off. I mean, it's highway robbery what they're doing. There's large language models that have already come out in different parts of South Asia that you can run on computers that are nearly 20 years old. And they won't even use a tenth of the electricity. All these power things and all these electricity buildings that they're fighting over and stuff, they're going to be obsolete or they're going to be repurposed.
So you're believing that data centers will not be necessary?
Yep. The way I just saw.
Yeah, they won't be.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Michelle.
No, I was going to say that
Michelle, go ahead.
I just said, or I just read something yesterday that the Netherlands are putting their data centers like on lakes and rivers and stuff, so that and they're
for
like
cooling.
Right. So, and they're like a tenth of the size of these, giant behemoths now. So you're already seeing that these data centers are, and I was talking to someone, this was months ago, about data centers, and he was like, yeah, this is what it needs now, but technology always shrinks.
Right. They're far more advanced than us. They were doing wind technology before we even knew what a windmill was.
Right. But, it becomes, we've got the whole world right here.
Right. Our footprint shrinks.
Right. So, you're exactly right, too. Go ahead.
It's a catch-22. And we do need to build some so we can evolve the technology. And I'm a little bit for that, but there has to be a budget for some of this and some realistic things where people aren't getting involved for their ego, for political prowess, or that's not even a word I'm using.
And to wipe out how much of the workforce. Sorry, I'm not railroading you.
Exactly.
I'm agreeing. Yeah, because...
No, I understand. Right. And that's my next point. Because, Adriana, you were saying it's very difficult. Life, no matter what, is going to be difficult. But I agree with Burley that worrying about it doesn't get you anywhere. That actually paralyzes a person.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really hard to get out of that. It's very hard. And you have to rely on your peers. And you have to rely on surrounding yourself with positive people. That's the main thing to get out of this, at least what I've learned. If I had to tell someone in the youth that's younger than myself, if you want less stress, you want to be more successful, and that can not be, it may not actually happen because economies come and inflation and all this stuff, but it's who you surround yourself with. And if they're positive, that's a great thing. But that doesn't mean that you can't get into comfortable, healthy arguments and debate either, because that's always going to be there. And that's why I appreciate this Tuesday show so much, because it gives us a chance to actually, bicker over things, but in a friendly manner, because what are we really all here for? We're here for the benefit of the region, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is, and to make our stuff better. So hang in there, Adriana.
Oh, no, we're surviving. I'll survive for all those that are just like, grow up. I'm just like, no, we'll survive. We're going to get through it. But we are going to be like, all right, this is a little ridiculous sometimes.
Oh, or what's that meme? Oh, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to complain about it the whole time. That's me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Brad, for being a part of the mission.
Yeah, exactly. Or where there's that cartoon where the gold digger's is hitting and he's on the last couple times to hit with his pickaxe, but he shows him walking away. That's where we all are.
Yeah.
I truly believe the things that AI are going to do and the changing in the monetary system and the money and everything changing over is actually going to bring us together. And it's just a matter of time. But if we don't stick together to get to that point, that's where our downfall might be. Depending on AI for everything, like I said, most dangerous thing you can do.
Yes.
The absolute most dangerous thing you can do. And this is coming from a 30-year tech veteran. So
thank you, Brad.
Just be careful. And
thank you, Brad.
You're welcome.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Hey, let's go right back to the phone lines.
Hey, before we do that, I got to split, guys, because I got to get up.
Yes,
it's time for me. You guys can continue.
We'll continue.
All right.
You finish, but I got to go. So it was lovely meeting you, Lori. I'm excited to hang out.
For us.
I will do that. And also,
too bad he didn't stop in. This would have been a great time for him. Right?
Yeah.
Well,
never mind. The caller left.
Okay.
Exactly.
Right.
And also, I was going to just say again, Mayor, you may not like me anymore, but I still like you. So
You don't like me, but I love you.
That's right. I don't know if he said he didn't like you anymore. I don't know. You have to see what he said. But he said he did like you prior to your comments. That's for sure.
Well,
there we go. But so we got about 5 minutes headed up here. And do you guys have anything you want to wrap up with? Any kind of announcements? Anything like that? I don't know.
We put her on the spot.
Right, put me on the spot. Yeah, an inexperienced person, first time at the microphone.
That's okay.
I've been learning from Adriana and Jim and Verly. Everyone's been very kind, and she's like, "Come on out and get your inaugural visit out of the way." So
well, I am honored. I'm going to tell you, Michelle and Adriana, we are honored that you chose to come on our show to do that. Girl power.
Hey,
let's go to the phone lines.
We do got a phone call. So good morning, caller. You are on the air. What is on your mind today?
Well, I just wanted to call and say good morning, and what a refreshing show and brilliant radio that you ladies have provided this morning. Verly,
thank you.
A voice from your past.
I have a pretty long past.
Are you a new caller to this show?
You haven't heard my voice in a while. This is Spiro. I hope everybody.
Spiro! Oh my goodness! Definitely, it's so good to hear from you. Do you know Spiros?
Did you talk to old friends?
Ladisados?
I have read about him.
Okay.
but I don't think I have met him in person.
Okay. Spiros, we are going to have to get you on these airways.
Congratulations to you and welcome. I'm sure all your ideas will be wonderful. And your earlier caller that said just make them Jed's ideas was spot on. But Jed has done a wonderful thing for the region over the many decades. And it's always good to involve new people and new ideas, but was just listening to very smart radio and thought I'd call and say thank you.
Well, we appreciate you calling. Now, I don't know if I'm going to put you on the spot and if you're able to comment on this, but when you were the CEO of the South Shore Visitors Bureau, were you were there when they originally talked about bringing the bears to the region?
Well, that's a long time ago, Verly. That's in the Wayback Machine. That's 1995.
Wow.
That is a very long time ago where Mr. Dean White and Gary Neal from NIPSCO, and there was a lot of people involved in that project, and it was a different time, different management, different opportunities, different considerations. We did have a couple of county council people vote to move forward, but the majority did not, and it's interesting to watch everything unplay. I'm living long enough to see what's old is new again. So it's a fascinating time.
It is fascinating, and to me, it's a lot of fun. Just the speculation and the planning and what would we do and how would we get to the game and all the fun and supporting of the Bears since being a Bears fan since the very beginning. It is a very exciting time.
It's very, very interesting and a lot of considerations that we'll all learn, I'm sure, much more about as things unfold. But I was also listening to your conversation about the churches and some of the, the Orthodox church communities are, I don't think we're in that mode by any stretch of the imagination, but it's interesting for me to consider what we're going to do for Greek school for my son.
Right.
Where my church used to have it, and I went to the Greek church at St. Connie's.
So you were a member of St. Constantine and Helen?
Correct.
Okay.
I have a question were the Greek churches, were they closed during COVID time?
I thought they were.
I don't believe so, but don't quote me on that. I'm not an expert on COVID church closings, so
I just wonder if that was really, the big cut where people started drifting away, and why the Greek church still supported.
I think the Greek church is still well attended. I mean, you look at their parking lot.
Yeah, but were they closed during COVID?
I thought they were. I thought most of the churches were in the initial. You don't think so?
I don't think they were, but
I have to ask.
I don't know. You cannot rely on me because that's not.
Your church has always been such a strong supporter of the Soup Kitchen. I mean, the Giannico's family, the Logieris family. There's so many people there, and John Patalis. I mean, so your church is amazing. And Greek school is a rite of passage for all Greek children. So I know that is a concern for you.
It sure is. It's going to be another rite of passage for the next generation of Batistatos. But, I remember being at the original St. Connie's at 11th and 11th and Adams?
Mm-hmm, in Gary.
In Gary. I still vividly remember going to that church and to the hall and everything there. And when we moved to Maryville, the hall got built first, and we had church in the hall for years while they were building the cathedral. So, it's each one of these churches, whether it's Orthodox or Roman Catholic or whatever, have such a storied history and ties to the community. I found your whole conversation today very informative and entertaining, and I just wanted to call and say thank you and good luck to Ms. Whalen for what's going to be coming at her at the opportunities and challenges. And it was great to hear Smart Radio this morning.
Thank you, Spiros. We appreciate hearing from you.
Thank you for your support and for your call.
And it's great to hear from a smart man. So thank you.
I don't know about all that. So
yeah, I do.
We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank
you. All right. Well, we are going to.
Well, that's a great way to wrap up the show.
That is. So any final parting words before we break it off here?
Well, we'll be back on the first Tuesdays. That will be next week, correct?
Yes. I believe I got you. We are on every other Tuesday.
Okay.
For this show, for That's What They Said. And then I know, Verly, you are on, and then on the other Tuesdays. So
which we will discuss. I miss my buddy, Jim.
Well, are we expecting to see maybe some
guests?
But
we will definitely have some guests, but we will be here with That's What They Said for the first Tuesday, right?
I believe it's the first and second
right.
that I have you guys listed.
Yeah, that's why I got to double check on that. I thought it was the first and the last, but I want to make sure that we get that straight so that people who want to boycott know what Tuesdays not to accidentally tune in, when I'm here.
We got us on every, let's see here, second and fourth Tuesday.
Right. Well, second and fourth. Okay.
Well, Adriana has also promised me that we're going to do a better job on our social media to do clips and teasers and to say what's coming so that at any time on your Facebook, Instagram, that you could, we could know what our schedule is going to be like. So Adriana's been working really hard and we're all sharing some new ideas and how we could be better and be better for our 219 region.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yep. Until next time, I'll put it that way.
Plumbers Local 210 is building the future, and we're looking for service plumbers to join our team. Our training center invests nearly